Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of hopefully a recurring series here on the Mudkip Ninja channel of Change Your Fate. That's right, we are finally doing our D&D role-playing interactive live stream with all of you guys, where you guys get to decide the outcome of our adventures, the perils, the dice rolls. It's all in your hands. First of all, it's nice to see some friendly faces. To Piers and Pancakes, thank you so much for the follow. Great to see you. So, for any of you out there that have not been up in the now, or the know with any of this stuff, basically the way this is going to work is we are going to be playing a very special one-shot D&D-esque adventure called Adventure Skeletons. Now, if you're unaware with Adventure Skeletons, the reason it's so popular and or funny is because it is a one-page game about everyone being skeletons swapping bones in bone fighting hilarity. So it's really easy to learn, it's really easy to play. If you want to know more, there's a little carousel off to this side where you can type !skeletons to learn a little bit more. Kiwi, welcome back, nice to see you. Chubby, thank you so much for the follow. Hello, if you could change your fate, would you? Exactly. So the way this is going to work, and the way that you guys get to interact and experiment and change all of the aspects of the stream today, two most ways, there is a third technically. Down below, if you take a look at the channel points, which if you haven't used the Twitch app for channel points before, there's a little Mudkip looking icon next to your chat. Go ahead and click that. You earn channel points just from watching the stream. If you are followed, you get a big boost. If you are subscribed, you earn them faster. And then if you win predictions and polls and stuff like that, you also win more channel points. But you get them just by watching and actively chatting as well. You can spend those channel points on any interaction that you see in that list. Things from altering dice rolls, adding extra treasure for our adventurers, even spawning encounters. And if anyone is feeling extra generous, you can type !donate in the chat to learn about our premium offers. If anyone wants to spend a little bit of money, they can do even more alterations, including adding your very own 5-sentence NPC into our skeleton adventure tonight. So there are plenty of ways to interact with spending points and donations. In addition to that, my lovely mod, Ash, or Hey It's Me Blade in the chat, will be running polls the whole time. Those polls will come up in chat, and you can use channel points to vote on those, and they will be anything from asking where our hero should go next, or the disposition of a certain monster, or how hard or easy a challenge should be. So their fate will be in your hands. If you want to make their lives harder or easier, of course, you will be able to do so by voting and spending your channel points below in the polls. Lastly, the third way that you can interact is occasionally during the story, during tonight's performance, you could say. There will be a couple times that I ask for you guys to just shout out things. When I ask for that, just go ahead and chat them, type them in chat, and I'll take one at random. One exception to this is if I ask for a name, one of the channel point redemptions below is actually called Name Something. So you want to go ahead and click on that so you can actually redeem and get your name up to the surface, and I will pick names at random. But there will be a couple times that I'll just say shout it out, and you guys can just type whatever you want into the chat below, which should be fantastic. Now, this is our first time doing this. It's a bit of an experiment for us here at Change Our Fate. So let us know how the audio is, how the visuals look, and everything like that. Hopefully everything's good right now. I saw Falcor in chat as well. Chubi's about to collect all these points. Exactly. I got a lot of Quartz fans in the chat. Yeah, Ash can see everything. Ash is a hacker. They have access to all the polls. I aspire to be an NPC. Exactly. So, welcome once more to Change of Fate. And our adventure today is an interesting one. We will see a group of skeletons, unlikely heroes, that might not be used to their new bona fide world, exploring and expanding their boundaries into what they can only describe as the human dungeon. Their hopes, their dreams, everything they could ever aspire and wish for will be controlled by you guys. Now, as we all know, skeletons are prone to breaking and losing many bones, and in the process of this adventure, that may happen. But have no fear. For the skeletons of our party are quite resilient, and every time they lose a bone, they can swap that lost bone with any other bone that they find on the side of the road, or a bone that you offer up as one of the channel points below. Unfortunately, if our skeletons should lose their skull, that is game over for them, and they suffer a death more horrible than, well, whatever it is being turned into a skeleton feels like. So, for today, it is not just myself that is bringing NPCs through this dungeon. Let's just go ahead, and I will need to introduce our other compatriots that will be joining us on this adventure. So please, everyone, give a warm welcome. Let's just turn this on and make sure it works. There they are. Hello. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. From top to bottom, we have Yona. Yona, how's it going?
It's good. I'm ready to bone some bones.
Oh,
All right. A strong start from Yona. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nikki is up next. Nikki, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, despite the previous comment about boning.
Right. Fantastic.
Sometimes the words just happen.
Yes. Devin, how we doing?
Yeah.
Great. All right. The more the merrier.
Perfect.
And finally, Quartz, how you doing?
I'm doing.
Great. A real cast of adventures we have here tonight. Well, luckily, everyone joins us tonight for a very special performance from this cast. They're going to put on their best for you. Queen of Goth, thank you so much for the follow. Like I said, this is an experiment for all of us, so let us know if you guys have any suggestions, anything you'd like to see, any audio or visual changes that you want changed. I did just up my mic for those of you that said it, so hopefully that sounds a little bit better now. We will get into introducing their actual characters in just a minute. Just wanted to make sure that everything was working. Ah, yes, Matrix, thank you. There is one final way to participate in Change Our Fate tonight. You can participate in the community challenge by spending a whole bunch of community points together as a whole. And tonight's community challenge, if we reach 5,000 community points by the end of stream, there is a super secret, true ending to the story. If our heroes make it to the end, then perhaps they will see an alternate ending as decided on by chat. But that remains to be seen. For my party, for you guys, how do you feel about playing skeletons? Have you been skeletons before? You ready to get into that mindset?
I've been a skeleton my whole life.
Your whole life?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I've never
good.
been a skeleton, and I'm not going to start now.
No, why would you?
That sounds like a you problem.
I've never been a skeleton, and I plan to start tomorrow.
Oh.
Incredible.
All right.
Yeah, that you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So we will get to introducing the characters in just a second, but first, we of course have to start our journey. And like all skeleton journeys do start, ours begins as summoned skeletons from a necromancer within a dungeon. So, let us begin the story for tonight. Let me just get the music and the page. So, let's just get in here. We open up our tale inside of a very dusty, dank, and gray bricked dungeon. Just like any other night, our four skeleton compatriots have been wandering around the halls aimlessly looking for things to do or ways to fill their time, as many heroes don't pass through this way anymore. It has been trapped for a very long time now, and our skeletons have all seen their share of trap duty, guard duty, sewer duty, you name it. But specifically tonight, after our four skeletons have wandered the halls to their choosing, we find them in the haunted tavern of the dungeon. Now, we're going to do a little bit of practice here. Normally this will flow a little bit better as we get into it, but the very first couple things we're going to need, I'm going to need to see some polls in chat. Well, actually, the very first thing that I'm going to need to see is someone redeem some points and name our dungeon. What is the name of this dungeon that our four skeletons find themselves a part of and, subsequently, subservient to? We will take any names as it goes. As for our four skeleton adventurers, you are used to this dungeon, you are used to the layout, and you know all the tricks and traps of getting around, the levers to pull, the hidden pressure plates to get around all the spike pits. And at close to the very front of the dungeon is a sort of haunted tavern where all of the monsters and sort of summoned paraphernalia of the dungeon go to hang out, which is where you guys will find yourselves today. Music is getting loud. Thank you for letting me know. I will keep that down. I will mark that down. Appreciate it. Yeah, so, as we let that tick over, and people can give us some names for the dungeon itself, let me go over to... We have one! Mag Bonison, the end. Falcor has also given us Tombs of the Nightmare Soldier. Wow, that's a very different name than the first one. And we also have from Queen of Goths, Bile Gulch Mine. Incredible. Those are some incredible names. Now, usually I will just sort of pick one out at random, but why don't we let Yona, what do you think of those 3 names? What is the name of our dungeon?
I'm loving Bile Gulch Mine.
Bile Gulch Mine. All right, write that down. That is the name of your dungeon that you are all indentured to. Thank you, chat. That worked perfectly. Now, the next thing that I'm going to need from you, chat, as I will say this as we get a little bit closer, the Tavern Keep that the party is about to meet. They know them. They've known them for a little while. What is the name of the skeletal Tavern Keep of the Haunted Tavern? Speaking of which, at this point, we find our 4 compatriots sitting calmly around a stone table. So I also need a free name. So this you guys can just shout out in chat. What's a good name for a tavern, for a haunted tavern? You don't have to spend channel points on this. Just shout out some names. We'll see what we got. We love the Skyrim references. Of course we do. There will be plenty of Skyrim references in the music. Just you wait. We do need a name for the actual tavern itself as well, which you guys can just shout out.
Ooh,
and I will
redeem my
also
points.
need the Tavern Keep name, which I'm sure everyone is frantically typing as well. But nonetheless, this tavern is a very lively place, despite it housing mostly undead folk. Serving as the main source of entertainment for the denizens of Bile Gulch Mine, the dank stone rooms are always awash with the ambient blue glow of the Evertorches, fastened tightly to the cold walls. All of the seats and tables, if you can call them that, were fashioned for function by the dungeon's lead trapmaker, accounting little room for comfort. Let's see, Ruined Ruby, I love that. Bile Gulch Tavern, Drinks in Stuff, Tricks and Tucks, The Half Pint. Drinks and, I like Half Pint. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go with Half Pint. We'll do The Half Pint Tavern. And then lastly, I'll need you guys to do a name something redemption for the Tavern Keep's name for today. Just a whole bunch of them rapid fire. Still, the tavern at this time houses a few ghastly compatriots, many of which you, our heroes of today's tale, recognize by face, but not of name. There are hundreds of monsters summoned to protect this dungeon. Trying to remember them all would be as futile as trying to remember the name of that one acquaintance you went to college with and insists you two sat right next to each other all throughout divination class. Regardless, one name the 4 of you know quite well is... let's see. Tim? Tim! Love Tim. Also, Queen of Goths, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rapid fire channel points. Incredible. You know what? I'm gonna go with Tim. You all know Tim quite well. Tim is the face of the tavern, which of the Half Pint. Let me just actually make sure that I write all of these down so I don't forget. Half Pint and Bile Gulch Mine. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Oops, not like that. Bile Gulch Mine. Okay. We can pause that. All right, let me know, chat, if the alchemy music comes through. This should be the only time I need to ask this question, and I put it on now. Okay. Let me know if it's too loud or too soft, and I can adjust it accordingly. Perfect. Incredible. So, you all know Tim quite well, lead barman of this fine establishment. Tim is friendly, but not overly empathetic, as it's hard for skeletons to feel, well, anything, really, lacking a nervous system, as they are. But he is still the closest thing to a font of knowledge you would have across here within Bile Gulch Mine, as you are all barred from the ancient library, Necromancer's Orders, being just lowly raised skeletons. So, as the chittering and bubbling of the other monsters around you continues, Tim slowly makes his way over to the small table where the 4 of you are sat. So let us go ahead. Let's just make sure the audio is good. It's a bit loud. Thank you very much. I will adjust that, and I will do that from here. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to hear that a little bit better. And now we are going to move on to the Skeletal Tavern. So, As Tim comes over and looks at all of you around. Oh, okay. Ash, don't worry too much about that. You can abbreviate as need fit. Don't worry too much. Okay, as Tim comes over, you see his sort of cracked skeleton smile walk over to you, his ribcage kind of gleaming off of the blue Ever torchlight as he kind of cracks and steps closer to you. You see he has kind of like a little dusty washcloth hanging over his shoulder, and as he walks up to the table, the four of you are chatting, and you know each other generally. He says, "Well, hello there, fellow skeletons. Welcome to the half pint. What can I get you all today? Oh, wait a minute. I've seen you around here before. What? Gorf? Is that you?" And he kind of points at your character, Yona, which at this point, if you would like to introduce who you are playing, Yona, now would be a good time to do so.
Yeah, I am playing Gormf Spinebound. Was once an orc in life. He cannot read. He loves books more than anything in the world. He was in charge of, like, supplying and guarding, you know, battle texts and other things that orcs like. And he was killed when a wizard attacked his outpost and was holding a book, and Gormf just couldn't attack.
Poor Gormf.
Poor Gormf.
Way to go.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, Tim kind of nods and goes, I thought I recognized you, but what are you doing here with Marrow Streep? As he kind of points over to the skeleton-looking skeleton sitting next to Gormf. Nikki, would you like to introduce your character?
So I'm Marrow Streep. I'm skeleton. I'm a skeleton. That is
That's
all
true.
I've ever known. My mom is Meryl Streep. She was
Somehow.
playing a necromancer one time, and she really got into the role, and that's how I was made.
That's it. That's generally how skeletons are made. So glad
It
that
is,
worked
yeah.
out for you.
I'm an expert on skeleton culture as a result.
Of course. Tim kind of turns now and says, and I think you, the stout one, Choboni, was it?
Oh, yes. I am playing Choboni, who is a not so undead skeleton, at least in his eyes. Used to be a druid in a past life. Great little dwarf man. And we're just looking for a real animal connection, just to make a good friend, a companion, you know?
True, very true. And finally, the barkeep turns and sort of has to look down a little bit before seeing Ooze kind of sitting, their hands both crossed over the small stone stool that they're sitting on. And the barkeep looks down at you and goes, "Oh, hello! I actually don't know if we've met. What's your name?"
I'm Iz.
Ooze! Would you like to introduce your character?
Yes, I am playing Ooze. They were a goblin in life. They do not remember a lot, but they really like teeth.
Love teeth.
And they do have a little pouch of teeth just on their hip. There's also some pebbles in there that they thought were teeth.
Incredible, which is really great. Just a real menagerie of skeletons for today, to be perfectly honest. So the first poll should be coming your way, chat, very soon, if it hasn't already, which will be a secret from our players. Tim kind of nods at the four of you before sort of looking around the table, and he goes, "Well, what'll it be? What can I get you guys?"
I'll have a stout pale ale.
Yeah, so about that, we only carry distilled blood. That's it. That's all we got.
That's actually what I meant.
Did you get any books since last time?
Books! He sort of clutches his ribcage as he laughs. Oh, God, you know we're not allowed to read.
Gormf gets so sad.
You see Tim kind of wipe a metaphorical tear from his skeletal socket as he looks to you and goes, "No, but seriously, do you guys want a drink or what? I have a succubus table to attend to if you guys don't want anything."
I think I'm good.
I don't drink.
I'll have your strongest drink.
All right, well, like I said, it's just distilled blood, so that's what we got coming to you.
Okay.
He kind of nods and he turns. Marrow?
The usual glass of distilled blood, of course.
Ah, yes, distilled blood with extra dust, coming right up, Marrow. And you watch as Tim kind of sidles back off to the skeletal bar that he has going on. Now, the four of you have come to meet here for a very specific reason tonight, because you've all been in talks throughout your general sort of trap engaging and disengaging rules and roles within the dungeon. You have been in talks of leaving the skeletal dungeon, where you are bound and summoned to find the human dungeon that has been fabled by the necromancer of your dungeon, who we do not have a name for just yet. So, talk amongst yourselves. What does that mean to you? What is the plan? What is the idea?
Well, we must obviously go find friends.
Do friends have teeth? I really
All
want
friends. Well, frogs don't have teeth.
teeth. Some frogs do.
Wait, frogs don't have teeth?
Some frogs do.
I am not an amphibious expert, I must admit.
Some frogs have teeth. I can prove it.
So we're going to
I've got-
find frogs.
All right, so
I
the
got
first thing we
bit
have to
by
do
one
is
once.
find frogs, confirm if they have teeth. I look at
Step
Marrow.
1. Frogs, human dungeon.
Will there
in
be
the
frogs in the human
dungeon?
dungeon? We could maybe do both.
Oh, we'll do both.
But we
Okay,
know
okay.
what the real priority here is, right?
It's the frogs, right?
Frogs. We must know if they have teeth.
I'm pretty sure they have teeth. Some do. Right?
I've never seen it, so who can say?
The whole story was immediately derailed by the search for teeth in frogs, as the idea of a human dungeon left our heroes' minds, as they are empty as skulls are. Matrix, name the necromancer Nicomancer. All right. Thanks, Matrix. I'll write that down. Let me just get that. Okay. Incredible. All right, as the five of you are discussing, you do recall, Yair, thank you so much for the follow. You do recall that there is a level of knowledge that Tim does possess, that the rest of the sort of summoned monsters and skeletons might not, because Tim is sort of not quite the front line of defense to the Bile Gulch mine, but he does see a lot of traffic of monsters bringing in dead and decapitated heroes sort of through the, through the dungeon. So, Tim knows more than most. But Marrow is also a skeleton, as they were a skeleton before and are now also a skeleton. So Marrow does know a little bit more about skeleton culture, as it were, as well. So, as the thoughts of the human dungeon and toothed frogs rest heavily on your mind, what would you guys like to do?
Marrow, can we go to the human dungeon?
I would actually recommend that. However, you need to be a little sneaky about it. Just a little.
Why are we not supposed to go to the human dungeon?
I'm good at speaking.
You guys are new skeletons, it'll be a chance for you to prove yourselves, but gotta do it without Nicomancer the Necromancer finding out.
Oh yeah, Necromancer. That was a really confusing name. I got here last week and I just called him Necromancer a few times and he disassembled me and brought me back. It was really, really painful. And I didn't think I could feel pain anymore, but I can.
That's why we gotta be sly about it. The only thing Nicomancer hates worse than people getting his name wrong is skeletons going out into human dungeons without his say-so.
That is
So, Nico
Mancer.
put a Nicomancer. Oh man, I'm glad he didn't hear me. He's the one who
man,
put a
that was
spell
close.
on,
That was really
on
close.
us, on me, on us. So he's the reason I'm a skeleton.
That he is.
Well, frog time.
Back time!
Wait, frog.
For those of
human
you that
dungeon
are-
or frog? Wait, I'm
Human
so lost.
dungeon.
Human dungeon have frogs.
Human frog dungeon. Okay, got it.
for those of you that are just joining us, if you would like to alter any of the fate here at Change of Fate, you can spend channel points that you earn just by watching the stream on voting in polls that will pop up, or affecting any of the rolls or anything else that comes up. So you guys can head down to channel points, you can add loot to pools, you can make all sorts of fun things happen, so feel free to use those channel points for your own nefarious purposes. If you're interested, you can also type !donate to learn about the premium stuff that you can do, including adding your own NPCs into the game. Incredible. Yeah, Nicomancer really was born for it. So, as you guys are discussing this at this point, you hear a mug sort of clatter to the ground, and it sort of everything reverberates because everything's either bone or stone in this dungeon. So it's great acoustics. And sure enough, you guys kind of turn and you see Tim kind of looking in your direction as he puts like a whole slew of pints down at the succubus table. Tim kind of like sidles back up to you guys and he, did I hear you guys just talking about the human dungeon and also something about frogs?
Frogs, yes. We
certainly
must
heard the frog
go.
thing.
Yes, we were just talking about frogs, actually. Do you know about frog teeth? I'm just learning about this.
Tim kind of, he thinks for a second and he goes, no, I've not seen a living frog, only skeletal frogs, and they never
Do
have
they have
teeth.
teeth?
So it's impossible to know if perhaps maybe frog teeth are made of skin, not bone, and they fall out upon a frog's
Then what-
petrification. But no,
Wait.
we're getting
Oh,
out of
that's
hand
a really
here.
good point.
Then what have I taken from the frog?
Absolutely not. Look, if you are meant to head to the human dungeon, I mean, do you know how far away that is?
No, I'm really just learning about
Like
it
20
now.
feet? Like
I'm
20
pretty
feet?
new.
I am gonna,
At
from
least
you, chat, I'm gonna
5.
need a channel point redemption on name something. I'm gonna need you guys to name, what is the name of the human town that the skeletons think is a human dungeon? Anyway, Tim continues and says, well, look, the human dungeon isn't something to be trifled with. Even Nicomancer doesn't like to go there from time to time, so, you have to be careful. And there's perilous paths and many different trails. Why would you even want to go to the human dungeon in the first place?
They have
Frogs.
Well, also, human dungeons have lots of books that don't have spells that cause me to disassemble when I touch them.
Tim kind of
Human
nods his
dungeons
head.
have human teeth.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
But
It's true.
look,
I do think humans have teeth. Pretty sure.
I can
think
confirm
they do.
actually that they do.
I can tell you guys what I know, and that is that the human dungeon is structured a lot like our dungeon. All right, and what
Oh
that
wow,
means.
that's very convenient.
I know. There's gonna be treasure, there's going to be traps, and if you make it, there's even going to be a boss. So you have to be extra careful if you're going to that human dungeon, okay?
Oh yeah, the boss is like Nicomancer, right?
Well, no, okay, our boss is Nicomancer. They probably have like a more happy Nicomancer, but don't tell him I said that.
Oh, okay,
Happy
okay.
man.
That sounds like he might kill you again.
Again,
wait.
yes. That would be the
Yeah.
third time this week, to be honest. I'm not really looking forward to that.
I have a
Yeah, he
question.
killed me yesterday.
Yes, Choboni.
Is Nicomancer not happy? Why is he sad?
I mean, you've seen him, right? He's famous for his eternal scowl. He's just, every time you look at him, it's like just resting necro face, right? He looks dead.
Wait,
He
is that
looks
not
dead.
normal?
And I mean, Tim kind of looks at all of you and he goes, well, for us undead folk, sure. But he kind of points to some like murlocs and zombies kind of chilling in the corner. And he says, but I mean, look, they have full use of their facial expressions. You'd think that someone with skin would also have full use of their facial expressions, like Nicomancer, but no, he's always angry. You don't want to get on his bad side.
Oh,
Oh.
good to know. I'll avoid him.
Resting necro face. Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess it's time to get books, teeth, frogs, and
Frogs. Human dungeon boss.
Wait, did Tim give us the drinks?
Yes,
Oh,
Tim,
yeah.
Tim has come over now and given you both a glass of distilled blood, although Marrow's looks slightly murkier than yours does.
Okay, I try to dump it in my face hole, and I'm not very good at this, and a lot of it goes in my eye sockets.
You watch as Gormp just picks up this big sort of stein and, and you watch this distilled blood just sort of splash all over his face, kind of echo through his jaw, and just kind of drip off of his eye sockets. It's a really beautiful picture for skeletons.
This
Huh.
I think this worked perfectly.
You never forget your first.
Summerland for the town name. All right, that's one town name. That's good. That's great so far.
I guess if you have the blood in your eye socket, then you could just store it for later.
That's true.
Well, that's
also,
a really good point. And I like drip what's left in there.
You just
Yeah.
and as soon as you tilt your head
skull.
forward again, Gormp, it just kind of starts trailing out like you're crying blood. It's a horrific scene.
And Gormp has like not great posture, so it's
No.
he's not looking straight forward, so it is pointed down.
Oh, of course, of course. For those of you that are just joining, you are joining our 4 skeletal heroes playing Adventure Skeletons. You can type !skeletons, as the carousel says over there, to learn more about this one-shot. And you can, of course, alter fate and the destination of our heroes by spending channel points down below. So feel free to stick around, vote on polls, and you guys can do whatever you want, including Frank has just played Bone Doctor for a toe finger. Okay. Wow, this... So... as Tim kind of leaves the drinks at your tables and spins away to let you go back to your nefarious planning, you watch as he kind of trips for a second. And sure enough, he kind of turns back to all of you and oh, did one of you drop this? And he holds up what looks like a finger, but is far too stubby to be one, and is made of bone, of course. It is like one of your digits has detached themselves. And he just kind of holds this up to all 4 of you.
Have I lost a finger?
No,
Have I lost a
none of
toe?
you, in fact, have lost a finger or toe. Good question, Quartz.
I'll take it.
Okay. Marrow, you just kind of reach out and gingerly grab the toe finger bone from an unknown, thing. Town should be called Bonesboro. Also, Hum Anvil. Oh man, these are great names. Okay, thank you guys. I think we are going to go with Bonesboro for the name of the town. Good job on the names, guys. I just have to make sure that I put that down.
Maybe it was Tim's finger.
It might have been Tim's finger.
Oh yeah, Tim.
Not
Tim, are
anymore.
you miss? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, Tim kind of turns away, and Marrow, you are now holding on to this toe finger as well. That you could replace at any time. According to the rules, there's no statistical benefit for changing your finger bones, but you are welcome to do so, should you so desire. There you go. Probably from a frog.
It's a thumb.
Could be.
A second thumb.
Probably from a frog. Okay.
If it's from a frog
It's
and I
it's
put
a
it
frog
on my
finger
body,
toe.
maybe we'll attract frogs.
Oh, that's
Like,
that's
you know
really
how bones
good.
attract bones?
I hear bones give off pheromones, so I think.
Alright,
So-
I attach frog bone to my hand.
Which finger are you replacing?
I can't just like fit it in the like thing.
Nope.
hand
The way the
bones.
necromancer has enchanted you is your joints are able to, attach to other things, but you cannot add structures that do not atone to your normal anatomical skeleton.
Alright, I replace my ring finger. I'm
Okay.
married to the frog.
You
now.
watch as Marrow Streep just kind of very gingerly off of her skeleton finger and replaces it with an indeterminate toe finger that's slightly stubbier than the rest of Marrow's fingers. Incredible.
Looks good.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
just
that
got it.
should attract a lot of frogs who are
So many frogs.
just looking for partnership.
We'll find all frogs with you.
It's true. Frogs generally allured to stubby fingers. Okay,
You heard
so
it here first.
in order to get through to the human dungeon, there has to be another poll that is placed in chat. I don't think it's already gone through, but Tim shouts from across the table and says, "Look, to get to the human dungeon of Bonesboro, as that's where you're going, you need to either pass through the Femorous Bog or the Patella Wastes, which poll is now for the audience to decide." Tim kind of sort of twiddles their fingers together, and as he kind of goes back to pouring some of the drinks. All right, what do you guys, while you're deciding on which path to take, what would you like to do?
I'm going to flip a coin.
Cool.
Do I have a coin? Can I flip a finger? Can I flip my skull, actually?
I have a
Yes.
spare finger.
You could flip your
That's
skull,
true.
although Marrow Streep does now have a spare finger. That is true.
All
Spare
right,
finger?
let's flip the finger. Nubs or dubs? I don't know.
Nubs or dubs? You're calling it.
Nubs. Actual
Okay.
nubs. What is it?
You watch as Cho Boney flips Marrow's spare finger as it just kind of spirals through the air and lands on the table with a thud. It's very hard to judge a finger on whether it landed top or bottom, to be perfectly honest, but you think it landed nub side up.
Ah, Nubs, let's go. So what was the point of that?
That's 1 for 1. Okay. Now...
1 for 1. All right, how many can we do?
Incredible. As you guys are sort of chilling within the haunted tavern of the Half Pint as well, you sort of look around in the dungeon of let me just get the name. The dungeon of Bile Gulch Mine is home to some rather unsavory citizens and denizens. As you see, there is sort of a table of succubi that are sort of off in the corner, very much enjoying their distilled blood. You see a table of zombies and murlocs that also kind of sit relatively close to you guys that are just communicating in the most indistinguishable noises. You'll hear a murloc go, and the zombie will just sort of back and forth, you know, they're just having an insufferable conversation. But as you are sort of listening to the general din of the tavern around you, it makes the most sense to your skeleton brains to head through the Patella Wastes.
That's what I was hoping for. That's what I flipped it for, actually. Nubs was Patilla.
Oh, wow, that must be a really powerful finger. Wait, that's Marrow's finger, right? Marrow, do you want this finger back? It seems really powerful.
We'll keep it, but
finger.
I'm married.
Hold on to it.
Oh, you're married to frogs.
To the frog.
As a
Alright.
concept.
I'm my frog partner.
Of course.
Incredible.
The
When
finger
does Nero
leads
get
us.
to marry the frogs?
Well, as you all decide
Get the-
who is taking who in Holy Frog Trimony, you decide to get the adventure on the road. As you do your best
Froggy?
to stay hidden through the peripheral gaze of Nicomancer the Necromancer, it looks like the audience has funded the true ending. So if you survive until the end, we have a surprise. Thank you very much, audience.
That's a
Bold
big
of you
F.
to assume we're gonna survive to the end.
Marrow, as you generally know your way around the most, you sort of take the 4 skeletons behind you and you leave the haunted tavern. What I am going to need from all of you, though, as you know, there are sort of 2 large orcs that stand guard at the very entrance of the dungeon as sort of a very first line of defense. I'm going to need you all to roll a d10 for sneaking past the guards. And if you have any bonuses to anything like that, make sure you tell me and you can add them. So here's our first skill check.
Do I get a bonus because I'm
Hold
small?
Hold on, wait. I think I
We're
actually have a
sneaking.
bonus to sneaking. Yes, I have a +1 to sneaking.
You do. You do have a +1 to sneaking.
I
Oh,
do
no.
indeed.
Ooh.
Guys, my hips are rattling. I
Oh,
never
this
got them
isn't-
checked out.
This isn't looking good. All right, what do we got?
Well, that's a 7 for me then, because I got a +1.
5, 2, 6, and 7. Okay. You all approach this sort of front entrance from the inside of the dungeon, and as your bones start clack and creak against this cold bricks of the gray and lifeless, trap-infested Bile Gulch mine, you head down, twisting alleyway after alleyway until you see the entrance. And sure enough, as you step towards the doorway, you can see the outlines of the 2 large orcish guards just kind of sitting on either side. Now, as we all know, orcs in this world, not super perceptive of things that are going on. So it doesn't take much
What
to
do you
get
mean by
past
that?
them. Unfortunately,
You can't say
Uh,
that in front of Gorm.
as you continue forward, you sort of begin to very lightly tiptoe past the orc guards. But, unfortunately, thank you so much for the follow-all diagram. Unfortunately, Choboni, you actually trip over something that was left in the doorway. And as you kind of like look down and your foot, oh god, you stub, it looks to be a large bone piece of maybe an elephant. Like there's this big sort of chunk of rib that was just left in the main entryway of this dungeon. Who left that there? As an addendum to the channel points things, I will always do everything at the earliest convenience. I won't miss them, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, you sort of trip over that, and it makes both orcs kind of and they turn, and they see all 4 of you in the entrance of the dungeon. The orc on the left kind of goes, "Oi! You know skeletons aren't allowed on the outside. Get back to your post. What are you doing?
This isn't the way out.
They kind of both look at each other and they go, "What? What do you mean this is the way out?"
You're standing at the wrong exit. We were sent to tell you that you're supposed to be over there.
The orcs kind of look at each other and look at you and go, "No, I'm pretty sure Nicomancer said there was only one entrance and exit to the entire dungeon for security purposes."
They just installed a new one. This one's gonna be closed up soon, actually. So, you know, bureaucracy.
Also,
people
there
don't
are
get
secret
told.
entrances all over the place. I used to guard one of those.
Yeah, me too.
The first orc kind of looks at the second orc suspiciously. Mara, why don't you go ahead and roll a d10 for trying to convince or persuade these orcs that...
Is there a version of help in this game?
No, there is not.
Okay,
No!
cool.
Now, these orcs are not the brightest...
Oh.
Okay,
Let's
well, I
go.
was gonna set the challenge first so the audience knew the challenge was a 4. This was sort of a less than medium difficulty thing to persuade them. A natural 10, first of the night, is the equivalent of a crit. So, Nikki, you actually get to roll a d10 and add it again, just to see how far you can convince these orc guards.
Convince them that we're not even skeletons.
Both
A
ends
1.
of this.
An 11
Not
total.
very far.
All right, Nikki. What does Mero say? As they both kind of look at each other, they begin to kind of nod and they go, "Oh, you know, that makes sense. Where's that secret entrance again?"
Oh, so you know the big pile of rusted shackles.
Oh, yeah,
back in the
shackle rust.
yeah. You know that corridor?
Oh, yeah.
There's that like small one off to the side.
my
So what you have to do,
favorite
you go
corridor,
down that. Yeah, you go down that, and then you take a right, and then you keep going straight for a while, and then you get to
okay.
like stone archway.
I
If you
see.
get there,
You see the second orc kind of like holding up his left and right. It's like,
yeah. So if you get to the archway, you've gone too far.
I see.
But you take a
Archway.
left. It's
I-
really, really small, very hard to miss. It's easy for skeletons to find.
Right.
You, not so much.
Oh,
You're gonna have to try.
okay. Right. Well, we're gonna do our best because we're the best guards for the job. Come along, Toefinger. You see the first orcs say to the second orc, and the second orc kind of, okay. Oh well, thank you for telling us of our new post. Good luck, taking over. And you see they both just kind of turn to each other and march back into the Bile Gulch mine, as the orcs kind of leave, and you are at a success thanks to Marrow Streep.
Oh,
Thank you, Marrow.
the finger leads the way. All hail the finger.
All hail the fucking finger.
Oh my god. We
Okay,
can't start
so
a
those
cult already.
definitely weren't frogs.
They were not frogs. That's why they left.
Yes.
Oh.
Pretty sure I recognized that those were other orcs.
They had nice teeth.
Okay.
Yeah,
missing
they
a
were really
finger?
pointy.
Or toe.
Incredible. Well, let's get this show on the road. As you guys exit the gungeon, that's a different game. You guys walk forward, and you see very quickly, almost as if from a storybook, your normal dirt path branches in a fork in 2 roads, and there's a very conveniently placed signpost. Unfortunately, none of you can read, as both of them are kind of pointed in sort of opposite directions. However, one of them appears to be going more towards a densely fogged forest, and one of them appears to sort of lead to more sparse bushlands and eventual sort of decay of the woodlands. You guys remember you're heading to the Patella Waste, so you gather that it is probably the path to the right. You all set out on your journey to the Patella Wastes, now following the
Can I take the
stubbed
sign?
toe finger. What'd you say, Gorth?
I said, can I take the sign?
Can you take the sign? Give me a roll which would be pulling or strength, if you have any skills that relate to that, of literally tugging the wooden fastened signpost out of the ground.
This isn't gonna count as hitting, right?
No, this does not count as hitting.
Okay, just checking. That's just gonna be a regular roll then.
Yep, a 3.
I rolled the 3.
Okay, well, as Gormf goes, you watch as you all sort of make your way to the Patella Waste. Gormf kind of, he reaches and grabs the wooden signpost and just, and tries to pull with all of Gormf's might out of the ground, not budging at all, Gormf, unfortunately.
Dude,
Can I try to
what is
pull it
your
out for
morph?
Gorm? Can I try to
Stupid
pull it up for
wooden
Gorm?
book won't move.
Unfortunately, we will keep actions to a 1-person minimum to keep the story going.
Ah, fair.
But Gormf, you have tried and failed, which is fine. And we will continue on to the Patella Wastes. What does Gormf want the sign for? The world may never know. Also, thank you to all who have joined us. Now, if you are just joining, of course, we are playing Adventure Skeletons, the fantastic one-shot. Type !skeletons if you want to learn more, !Discord to join the community, and !donate if you guys want to spend some premium actions to do all sorts of crazy stuff on stream. Otherwise, enjoy watching the shenanigans and spending channel points below. So, let us take our party down the winding path into the Patella Wastes. Let's just go ahead and start that scene. Ooh, wow, okay.
Ooh.
So, the air around you quickly grows dry and arid as the dirt and grass gives way to sand and more sand. The forest wherein the dungeon lies quickly becomes a speck in the distance as you cross dunes and cracked earth in the desert heat. You see the occasional cacti or shrub, but there isn't much life out here in the Patella Wastes, which is actually perfect for you guys because you're all undead anyway. Warm bones, open space, and things just die out here from heat exhaustion. This is like a skeleton's playground. That said, when the wind picks up and swirls the sand around, it does still prove to be difficult to push forward. And throughout your journey, you can't help but feel as if you're being watched. But regardless, welcome to the Patella Wastes. The very first thing that you guys encounter as you're walking through the dunes is ooze. As you're kind of like keeping your nose low to the ground and searching for teeth, as you always do, this is the first time that any of you have been out of the dungeon, even though Marrow does like to sort of gather authority as Marrow is the skeleton. Marrow, you also have never been outside the dungeon either before. As you guys start walking around, ooze, you find something buried in the sand. Not too far away, and as you kind of like quick sift your fingers through it, you see that there is a torso that you could actually swap for one of your bones as well. It is the torso of a rabbit, so whether or not you feel like you want a torso this big is your call, but you do find one.
I do actually want a torso of that size. It honestly probably fits. It probably
Oh, sorry, not torso, pelvis. It was a rabbit pelvis.
Oh, yeah, well, still,
Even
I
better.
want it. It probably fits.
Incredible.
Your legs are like coming from the same
swapping it
socket
out.
almost.
You watch as Ooze kind of holds their hand up for a second and kind of pops their legs off of their joint sockets and just kind of removes the pelvis. And Ooze, you just kind of jump onto this rabbit pelvis with your torso and re-stick your legs. It hasn't done much to your height, but your waistline is now very, very small.
Guys, look!
Wow. So that's how you do that.
Oh wait, can I see that pelvis for a second?
Mine?
The goblin.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I take the pelvis and I use it to like scrape sand out of my rib cage.
You watch.
Like, okay, that's all. Here you go.
Gormf takes Ooze's old pelvis and just kind of starts using it as like a shoehorn for sand and just kind of just get all that out of there, the rib cage, and hands it back to
Hey,
Ooze.
be careful with that. That's still mine.
Okay, I'm all done.
Incredible. Yes, Kiwi, actually, so I am going to call that out. One bone on each of their bodies can be replaced by a non-bone. A single bone can be. So you can keep that in mind. So, in the Patella Wastes, there are a lot of creatures that die of heat exhaustion, like the kind narrator did tell you. Including, but not sort of limited to, you have, you know, your humanoid bones, bird bones, and thanks to your loving audience, the bones of giraffes. So if you guys ever want to search for bones, of course, you can do an action to do so if you feel like you need to replace them, but none of you have taken damage so far, so don't feel forced to. Okay, well, welcome to the Patella Waste. What are you guys thinking? What are you doing?
Well, are we able to remove our heads, but still keep the rest of our body in our pocket?
What?
Anyway, Choboni is just very mesmerized by the fact that you can remove body parts and replace them after watching this pelvis swap. And I think Chobani's very scared. Choboni's very scared of.
Wait, who's Chobani?
Nobody.
I thought your name was Choboni.
Yeah, Choboni is my name.
Chobani guy sounds like maybe someone else.
Yeah.
That was a fake name, honestly.
Yeah, a total fake name. I just was trying to impress you guys. It's my bad. I really. So teeth, books, right? Pets, friends. Can I
He
scout
said
for?
books and frogs.
Wait,
Can I scout
Maro, is
for
this the
any
human
fucking
dungeon?
creatures?
What
This is the human dungeon.
What would you like to scout for, Choboni?
Are there any bugs or creatures nearby that Choboni can try and befriend?
Oh, Choboni, you take a second to kind of look around the sort of wasteland that exists around you. You just kind of,
Lifeless. Huh?
Nope. Nope. And oh, that's a tumbleweed. Nope. No life.
Scorpions.
Not yet.
We must continue on to find the friends and the village of the dungeon of humans.
Is this the human dungeon? Question mark.
I seem to think there's not many humans.
There's a distinct lack of humans and frogs.
Oh, maybe this is the trap room, or
Oh.
this could be a secret entrance. Does this move? And I pick up a pile of sand that is just a pile of sand.
Gorp reaches down and just piles sand through their bone fingers, and you watch it kind of dissipate. And you all wait with bated breath to see if anything changes in the sand around you.
Okay,
Nothing.
that wasn't
Well,
it.
doesn't it?
Nothing seems to move. No.
You know, I've heard stories about how humans will bathe in this thing called water. Maybe this is it. I'm gonna start doing the backstroke in the sands
Okay.
and just kind of
You watch as
digging myself under.
yeah, Choboni pretty much starts to do sand angels as they just kind of
Oh,
through
wow.
the sand. Luckily for
Wow.
you, again, you don't really have a nervous system, so the grit of the sand doesn't make you feel uncomfortable at all. It is flying everywhere, as you guys are pretty much just playing whimsically in the sand at this point. As you are doing this, however, Maro, keeping more of a level head and watching your children play around, you kind of look, and at the top of a nearby dune, something does catch your eye. And you notice that it appears to be some sort of formation of stacked rocks on top of each other. And it looks unnatural, to say the least.
Now, I don't know a lot, and I do know rocks from my time in the cave, and they're very similar to bone, but not quite. Those are weird. It's a technical term.
Which rocks?
Ow.
So, the ones that are like, they look like a little tree, but not made of tree. I think that's not a tree.
Maro's excellent deduction skills.
Big
It's
spine.
not bone, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure
so
it's not big
a frog,
spine?
not
It's
a
not
tree?
a frog. It's not a tree, and it's not a human. But it's
Can I go
definitely
over to this
weird.
not frog, not tree rock pile?
Yeah, you all can if you want.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go
Just in
over it,
case.
go over to it, and just like push it.
Okay. As you all approach the rock pile, the first thing that you see is that they are sort of rocks all stacked on top of each other. But unfortunately, Gormf, as you go and sort of topple them, they shift, but they don't topple, as if there's something like holding them all together, sort of stacked on top of each other. But what you do notice, Choboni, as you sort of get a little closer, on the rocks themselves are etched different shapes, almost carved out of the stone. And Ooze, at your feet, as you look down now, as you've approached this rock structure, it appears to be some sort of like sandstone slate in the ground, sort of covered lightly by sand. And there also appears to be what we would know as a combination lock adhering to this slate.
Wow.
Is that a book?
Is this a book?
Gorm?
Or is this a book?
Is this book? Wait, did someone say? Wait, what's a book? What?
There's things on here like things that
There's things and stuff.
Gorm.
This looks like what people put in books, but this isn't a book. I think maybe they tried to cut this. I think we should break this open.
It's a rock book, though, right? You open the rock book.
Before we do anything, can Ooze just like etch a little smile into the stone next to the rock?
Yeah. Yeah, you just sort of add a little smile to it.
Oz was here.
You think Ooze can write?
Speaking of which, Gormf, as this is happening, you do notice that behind the rock, there is another set of bone on the floor. This actually looks like a spine, which again provides no mechanical benefit for switching, but in all of your monster bestiary knowledge of living in a dungeon, this is actually the spine of a monster mimic book. So,
I switch it out immediately.
so quite literally, it is the spine of a book
Vertebrae.
spine of a monster book mimic that has a spine.
Will this count as a bone?
Yes.
Okay.
You immediately watch as Gormf kind of reaches, spins
Gorm
around.
fully disassembles.
Yeah, just sort of all on the ground with a xylophone sound effect, and just kind of like starts with his arms magically just detaching his vertebrae and inserts the slightly more lithe and smaller book spine, which is not great for a skeleton of orc descent who is already much larger. But you have fastened the book monster spine into your own spine.
You're just like a little
absolutely
guy
incredible.
now.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, you honestly, you look great.
Thank you.
Great.
I know, it's just sometimes you just have some identity issues, and this just really helps.
Incredible.
Are
So true.
Gorm and Ooze like the same height now?
No, Gorm still has slightly longer legs, but
Okay.
you know.
True.
So,
All right,
so
what do
we
you- yeah, what
we
do you do
spin
with
the
rocks?
rocks. We spin the
Yes.
rocks.
Spin them. All right, you give a quick
Spin those rocks.
You spin.
Okay, seeing
the
that
rocks.
people are spinning the rocks, I stop my attempt to hit the rocks that I was going to do.
Okay. The
Like,
rocks,
oh, okay, we'll
do
do something.
spin.
Yeah, that's cool.
but nothing else changes. They each have a different sort of etching on them.
Actually, it is.
Should we make it? Yeah. Copycat. I've played that game. Make them all the same, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so the etching on the very first rock has a star carved into it. The rock underneath that one has a triangle, and the third and bottommost rock has a diamond etched into it.
And what about the thing at the bottom?
So there's this sort of sandstone slate, and fastened to it, like a lock, is this combination lock. And if you look at that closer, there are numbers 0 through 9 on two little dials.
But there are also shapes.
What are these?
We can't read.
What's the number?
What would you like to do?
What if Ooze just like carves little smiley faces into all of the rocks, and then it matches at the bottom?
You can do your best, but these rocks are quite solid. Carving anything into them will take a significant tool to be able to do so.
Oh, so
Perhaps
not just little finger.
Bone.
Perhaps bone.
Well, yeah, I guess
Skeletons
you are
versus
made of
puzzles.
bone, so you definitely could, but after some time.
So these rocks each have like one etching thing on them, or
Star,
are there like
triangle,
multiple sides?
diamond. Nope, that is it. They each just have one. And then there's a little combination lock, 0 through 9, 0 through 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Star. 5.
You watch as Meryl kind of traces their bone over the star and says 5.
Hi.
Isn't that just a fire rock?
No. I don't know what it is, but it's
It
that
It-
many.
Oh, I see, because that's the shape of the fire rock. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
bone. It this many bone.
5. The 1 through 9, I'm 5 for star.
Well, there's only 2 dials. Which one do you want to spin? The first one or the second one?
Where's the star located in relation to
There
the
isn't.
dials?
It's just numbers.
The stars at the top of the rocks.
3 rocks,
Where-
3 symbols, symbol, but the actual combination lock itself is just like we would have to like lock our lockers IRL. There is a little dial of numbers that has 1 to 9 that you can spin around, and another dial of numbers 0 to 9 that you can spin around. Sorry, they're both 0 to 9.
You know how, like, when they say, when you're DMing people and they're like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta throw a door at your players and they won't know what to do with it, even though it's an unlocked door, and they just, I think we're hitting that wall.
Already.
I opened the door.
It's like, well, there's numbers and they're shaped? What's
Wait,
here?
wait. Can we just break the lock off?
You can try.
That's what I was
I have a
saying
great
to
idea.
begin
Can I
with.
try to just
Can I
break the
go
lock
bonk?
off?
Mara, what did you say?
I have a great axe. Can I go bonk?
Sure. You can roll a d10 to hit something here.
That's pretty
A
good.
6. You watch as Marrow takes their great axe from off of their back and just sort of cleaves it down on the lock. It does scratch, but the lock itself is unbroken.
Oh, okay, so that's not gonna work, huh?
That's bad.
Ew.
Maybe we should go back the other way, back by the sides.
Maybe we give up.
I think the campaign ends.
That's it. It's the first hurdle.
It's the
Right.
first thing that's through remotely difficult.
I will say, you guys can ask chat if you want help.
Chat.
Chat,
If
what do we
chat
do?
has any
Chat-
ideas.
chat does-
So, like,
someone did say try 69. for
Gormf
the
is an
combo.
idiot, but also I, as a person, am pretty confused.
So
Can we try 69?
you can
Yeah,
try
let's
69, sure.
69.
You go ahead, and you go to change the numbers. You switch to 69, and you pull, and nothing happens.
There's 3 rocks.
There's
Um,
3 rocks.
Okay,
a
but
star,
you
a
said
triangle,
5.
and a diamond.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
so-
star.
so-
five.
Working this out just completely normally, star is 5. Then if you add the bottom 2 together, that's 7. So 5, 7. Just add all of the sides together. So then it would be
Sides?
12. So 12. 12 sides.
You want to
12.
try 12?
Let's try 12.
Sides?
Okay. You watch as Ooze kind of starts doing some mental math in their mind as they're sort
No,
of
no,
pointing
no,
at these
not
rocks.
mental math. Counting on their fingers.
Oh, counting on their fingers. Eventually, you run out of fingers with 12 and have to go to your toes. But sure enough, you sort of
Actually, there are 11 fingers.
you slide you slide the digits to 12, and as you pull, it snaps open.
Oh my god, it worked.
Whoa.
Good job, Ooze.
This did something.
I never would have figured that out.
You did it. Good job.
We did it.
IRL
Oh.
or in the game.
Sure enough, as the lock, let me just make sure no one has used channel points to give you any more treasure. Nope, no one wants you to have any treasure, which is great.
This
Come on, guys.
is immediately letting this go to their head.
I saw Aka Spacula. What did you want that to be named, Tapirs? What are we naming that? I feel like that's great. So, as you guys sort of shift open the lock and pull back the sandstone, inside you find a bag of golden gems. You
It's mine,
recognize-
I
Those are
opened
the
it.
gems.
You
It's
recognize
mine, I
these
opened it.
because
They're
they are
shiny
stored inside of your dungeon's treasure room.
They're shiny teeth.
Or shiny teeth.
and me.
Oh yeah, those do kind of look like teeth. I'm pretty sure
Can I
I've seen humans with those teeth.
Can I have them, please?
Gold and
Okay, sure,
gems.
you can have
Gold
the
and
teeth.
gems.
Yay!
Who wants this in their inventory? You can mark it.
Me.
Okay.
I think Ooze is gonna take it.
I think Ooze deserves this.
Sure.
Maybe you can replace your teeth with them.
Yeah.
Marrow, as you are looking, as well as Ooze sort of takes this out and goes all crazy, you see that there is also a little note written at the bottom.
I open the note.
Okay. Now you cannot read. I would like to make this clear. However, as you
Wait,
open
is it
the
in
note,
skeleton?
it's not in skeleton, but as you look at this piece of paper with weird symbols on it, they magically make sense to you in your mind, as if it is written in a non-language, but you understand it.
Arrows.
It specifically says, if you can solve all 3, a bigger prize will be waiting.
This this was the first.
If I look at the note, can I understand it also?
You can. Yep.
Oh boy.
We
I
barely
like
made it through that one.
go to hold it, but I'm like not actually touching it. I go, this is the most beautiful book I've ever seen.
Incredible, Gorm.
We can keep it,
I
but
love Gorm.
It's the first time Gorm has
Okay.
ever been able to understand something. of a book.
I put it fully in my mouth.
Gorm just swallows it and puts it in his mouth. Incredible.
all right. We found and solved the first puzzle.
You did.
We need to find.
Okay, so this is a puzzle room. Okay.
Yeah, this is a puzzle. It's a really big puzzle room. This makes sense.
Yeah, it's like really big.
It is really big. There's
Biggest
that like,
puzzle room I've ever seen.
bright fucking thing in the sky. That
Yeah,
can't
Yeah, I don't know
that.
how they got their light up there. That's
Yeah,
some human
it's a
shit.
really big torch.
So,
You must
as
have
you-
a very powerful necromancer.
as you guys continue on from your victory over the shape puzzle, you guys walk further into the Patella Wastes. Now, chat, I am going to need a name for, let's say, another group of skeletons. Although, this group of skeletons are not adventurers, they are an improv group. So I would like an improv group name for skeletons, please. Okay. So, as you guys continue walking in the barren sands, you feel the heat against your bones. And at first it started to feel sort of warm and nice, and eventually it kind of starts to bake after a while. If there's no sort of shelter underneath the sun, it's getting real hot. But eventually, over cresting the next golden dune in the Patella Wastes, you see a very large sight in front of you. Something that is familiar, yet also very alien to you all. And to that, I take you to our next scene. So,
Ooh.
within, or rather over this next dune, you see a very, very large bone colossus that has rotted away in the sun over time. Its skull is mostly buried under the ground, but the main thing that lies intact is the rib cage, which sort of acts as almost like a parapet, kind of blocking out some of the sun with how large it is. As you stare into this sort of rib cage zone, you actually see that there are people or other figures that have taken respite underneath the rib cage. What would you guys like to do?
Joe Bunny's considering replacing his ribcage, I think.
With the giant rib cage?
With the giant ribcage.
The one that's hundreds of feet long, all right? Dream big.
Yeah.
Dream big.
The humans will not be able to stop me. All the
That's
props
good.
will be mine.
That's good, Choboni. Ambition's important.
Also, look at those teeth.
Those are some chompers.
So the
Those
improv-
teeth are fully bigger than our bodies.
And I want them.
So the other bone people of the group is here?
Well, you see a group of other people down by the ribs. They're a bit far to take them out, but they are wearing clothes.
Take them out.
Scope them out.
Where are we taking them? Out to dinner?
Well, now,
Wait,
they're wearing clothes, so they cannot be skeletons because they have clothes.
Mm. Well, you guys, some of you are wearing armor.
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, to be
wear our
very clear,
sand.
I have a gauntlet. That is my armor.
Right.
My armor is literally just a piece of metal wrapped around my head, like one of those, like, jaws.
little mumph bandana things that you have on that just sort of wraps around Ooze's head. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's compressed their skull into the shape of a square.
Yep.
Cool. Cho's got an idea. Cho's got an idea.
Okay.
Cho Boney's gonna run towards the group of whatever they are, screaming that the Nicomancer made us look like skeletons, and that we need help.
Wow, what's he doing?
Roll a performance or yelling check if you have any additions to those.
Performance are yelling.
Just roll a d10 and add any skills that apply.
I ain't got no skills.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm wildin'.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my god, yes!
Oh boy.
Yes!
We love to see it.
You watch as Choboni just sort of sprints down the dunes, flailing his arms and just, oh, the Nicomancer made us look like this! And just sort of running down the dunes. Sure enough, you watch
calcium!
as the figures kind of like turn in aghast and kind of look at what's happening here. Sure enough, as they sort of turn to you, you notice that they are indeed, let me just turn on tactical mode. There we go. They are indeed a group of skeletons.
Just kidding. I mean, I'm not, but hi.
They all turn to you, and they kind of look up and still in shock. And the necromancer, is he here?
No, he's well, I don't know. No.
No, we're gonna settle with no. The sort of first skeleton kind of wipes theoretical sweat off of their skull, and says, "Oh, thank goodness. Wait, who are you?"
Sorry, didn't mean to fright you. I'm Choboni. Do I get any spooky points for scaring the others?
Oh yes, yeah, you definitely get a spooky point for that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Choboni, and compatriots who are shyly waiting up on the dune. As they kind of like wave to you guys up there as well.
I'll wave everybody down. The coast is clear.
Goose is very excitedly waving at this group.
Okay.
Did you guys also escape the dungeon?
And the skeletons kind of look at you. Oh, no. We were reanimated by a sorcerer a long time ago. But we weren't really bound to anything. So after he died, we've just kind of been wandering as an improv group. Would you like to see some of our stuff?
It would really tickle my funny bone.
Yes.
They nod, and they go, well, it's funny you say that because we're known as the Funny Bones. And they kind of like cha-cha-cha, give like a little shake.
Wow, that is a wild coincidence.
It really is.
Goose just has this moment of like, oh my god, I'm psychic.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Um,
I'm getting stronger.
So, sure enough,
Hey, are you guys using that skull on the ground?
they kind of turn and point. The big one?
Yes.
I mean, we use it for shade, but I'm not sure what else you're implying, fellow skeleton.
Okay,
Are you
never
using
mind.
their teeth? Are those teeth yours? Can I
Sorry,
have them?
which dungeon did you say you were from again?
You know, the
Over
The
yonder?
yeah, the one up. So,
Oh,
what do you
yeah.
got for us? You got music? You got,
I go like, Meryl, what's the dungeon called? I'm really new.
where are we from?
Oh, Mara's muted. There we go.
Bile Gulch Mine.
Bile Gulch Mine.
Yeah,
It's a Bile Gulch mine, and I knew that.
yeah.
And the skeletons kind of look at each other and, never heard of it. But, you know, while you're here, why don't you relax, take a load off. Come sit by the campfire. We call this place the Ribcage Respite.
Oh, why do you have a fire?
And
The
he's,
desert.
why, to cook food, of course. Why else would you need a fire?
Wait,
We don't need to eat.
They kind of all look at each other and they kind of, that's a good one. Yeah, of course we have to eat. What are you talking about?
What do you
Uh-oh.
think you are?
Yeah, my
what
bad.
do you eat?
What? We eat nondescript meat cubes, same as everyone else.
We don't eat nondescript
Do you
meat
think I could have a nondescript meat cube?
Of course you could. And he kind of like beckons you towards the fire. As one of them just
I
kind
go
of
towards
starts
the fire. I'm
playing
gonna
this-
eat some meat cubes.
playing a Spanish guitar. Yeah, the Funny Bones, very, very hospitable, which is fantastic. So as you guys kind of sit, sure enough, they are roasting some nondescript meat cubes on this fire. That they're kind of like slowly turning like marshmallows over this fire.
Like hot dogs?
Yeah, like hot dogs. And they kind of sort of hold them out to you all. And they, oh, here you go.
I take out the piece of paper that's in my mouth, eat the meat cube, put the paper back in after I'm done eating the meat cube.
Now, you can taste it, but it does quite literally pass right through you.
Question.
Yes.
Gormf, did you chew that, or did you just swallow it?
The paper?
No, the meat cube.
No, I fully chewed it, and it's in a pile at my feet right now.
Oh, I could catch it if you swallowed it whole, and I tried it. We could pass it around.
Well, you still can, and I pick it up, and it's disgusting.
It's just
Covered in
covered in
sand.
You want it? There's some sand in that pile.
Oh yeah, give it over here. Chobani's gonna grab it and just yuck it in as far as
Oh.
he can.
You throw
We
it?
don't gotta waste food like that.
Don't waste the food.
Oh my bad. Joe's gonna run over and scoop it back up. All right, who wants it next?
The skeletons all stand with their jaws agape as they all just kind of like. Right. Well, it's
Is
lovely.
this not normal for you guys?
No,
You don't eat each other's food.
not quite, but it's been lovely to meet you all.
Yeah, you too. What was your names again?
The funny bones?
Yeah, what was your individual names?
We don't have them.
I'm sorry to hear that.
We're just
Your
funny
parents-
bones 1 through 4.
That sounds like a recipe for an identity crisis. I hope you guys are seeing a good therapist.
They
Couples counseling
Oh my
with the
God.
band.
Funny
they-
Bones 1 through 4.
Yes.
Where's
Do
4?
you happen to know where the human dungeon is or where their next puzzle room is? Because this one's very difficult to traverse.
Ah,
Okay.
yes. Well, in fact, there's actually lots of those puzzle rocks that you see all around the desert. There should be just one, and they kind of point to the top of a nearby dune. They say, just over that way. As for the-
immediately scrambles.
Oh, bye.
Oh, there
as,
he goes. Okay.
As
Wait,
for
there might be
the-
another book there, and I run.
Okay, bye. As for the direction of the human dungeon, and they kind of point in a separate direction, kind of due north. And they say, but to be honest, traversing in that direction's been rather difficult lately.
What's
Why?
that?
Well, we kind of have a bit of a sand shark problem around that area.
Holy God.
What's
This
that?
is Sand shark and immediately whips around because they know sharks have 2 sets of teeth.
Somehow you do know that. And yeah, well, I mean, look, to be honest, you guys are kind of weird. So if you feel like you can tussle with that sand shark, it's making our unlives rather miserable to travel around here and get to the next area. So if you guys do take it out, we'll reward you handsomely.
With
Being
what?
employed by
Wait.
skeletons?
Wait, are they a puzzle? Are they one of the puzzles? Are they a
We
part of the
have to take
human
them
dungeon
apart.
here to fool us?
They might be.
Yes, we greatest of warriors from our dungeon of I don't remember the name. The dungeon we are from, we will clear this shark from the land for you.
Oh, great! Well, thank you.
Yes.
It's really terrifying. So good luck.
Thank you. Do you have and Cho walks away.
What was he saying? All right, you, and they kind of point at Marrow, who's the only one kind of remaining there. Just be careful. You can come back here if you need to rest at any point. All right?
Sounds good. Thank you for your hospitality, fellow skeletons.
No worries. And next time you're around, remember to look up the funny bones. We're here. Hey. All right.
Hey.
We rush. So should we go over to the second puzzle?
I'm already running there.
I'm
same.
gonna catch up with Grump.
Okay.
Grump?
Gormp.
He's not gonna correct you.
He doesn't know the sound of the letters.
All right. In that case, you guys head towards where they pointed the second puzzle rock would be. Similar to the first time, you can see it sort of amassing in the distance of stones stacked on top of each other. But as you get closer, you also notice small black shapes skittering around the base of the stone. And upon closer inspection, it appears that there are a group of scorpions that have made this puzzle rock their home.
I immediately try to become friends with them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cho gets on his stomach and puts his leg up and back like it's a scorpion thing, like a little like tail, and then just skitters on the ground with them and is just like, "What's up, bro? What's up?"
I love it.
You watch
Wow,
as
I genuinely have Never seen anything like this.
60 feet away from
I
you where the
left.
scorpions are, Cho falls onto the ground, pretends to be a scorpion, and very slowly wiggles their way towards the other fellow scorpions, I guess. Would the 3 remaining of you like to do anything before we resolve Gorm's fate?
I'm not.
Choboni, sorry, not
Yeah,
Gorm.
Choboni's fate.
I am so.
I'm not gonna do anything, but if basically if Choboni is not able to become friends, I'm gonna start stepping on the scorpions.
Okay.
Goose also wants to become friends with the scorpions because Choboni is just so into it. So he's just like, I can do this too, and does exactly the same thing as Choboni.
Wow, okay.
Oh, do they have teeth?
If
I
they
don't
turn
think so, but they
hostile.
might. They might have teeth.
Can I try and pick one up?
We'll get there in a second. Mara, what
Oh,
were you
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say?
If they turn hostile, I'm gonna try and eat them.
Okay, sure enough, Cho and Ooze make their way over to the scorpions on the ground. Cho, give me a mimicry check. A performance, I guess?
Everything's a flat D10.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh my god. You watch as Cho, on the ground, writhing like a scorpion with a fake tail, kind of slithers up to them, and the scorpions look very perplexed at this skeleton who is just sort of rolled up into the sand. They kind of all, the 3 of them kind of chitter around you, Cho, and just kind of come investigate you with their claws and tails. They don't seem to be attacking Cho.
This is incredible.
I made friends, and my life is complete. Can I take one with me and keep him on my skull or in my skull?
You can do whatever you want.
All right, I'm gonna have one just like in my, just like hangs out in my bones, and we'll crawl
Like
around. and
pokes
just-
out of your eye socket.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just gonna kill the scorpions,
socket
but
landed
that went
rotation.
way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, his name is Alabaster, and respect him, and make sure he uses pronouns he, him, and
Hi, Alabaster, and I hand him a pile of crushed meat.
oh,
you kept it.
I shoved that in my other eye for
I
him
think
to snack on.
I think scorpions are carnivores, right?
Yeah.
So they would enjoy
I
that.
have no clue.
Yeah. So, much to your shock, Alabaster seems content riding on Cho's skull neck spot, and is very interested in the meat as well. However, as soon as Cho picks up Alabaster, the other 2 scorpions skitter away in fear, back and burrow beneath the sand, leaving you alone
Okay, bye,
one.
other scorpions.
With
I
the
guess you
puzzle
don't want to
rock.
hang out.
and a scorpion. What would you like to do?
Puzzle
I-
time.
Ask the scorpion how to do the puzzle.
I don't think any of you have speak with scorpion.
How do you-
Friends understand each other without language barriers.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
what's on the puzzle
So, there's no
rock?
combination
Yeah.
lock this time.
Oh.
There is another puzzle rock. Instead, the sandstone slab is very similar to before, but this time there's an etching of a sun on it. And you can see the sun itself has like 10 rays coming off of it. In addition to that, there is what can only be described again because of your trap background is a pressure plate, also on the sandstone nearby, and this time a pile of etched rocks that are not joined by any methods. They are just sort of all sitting there on the side of this puzzle. Again, the rocks have new shapes carved into them.
So
What
we
are the
have,
shapes?
yeah.
The shapes are as follows. One rock contains another star. Another contains an arrow. Another, a hexagon. And another, a heart.
Aw.
Not to mention the sun that is present on the sandstone slab itself.
Right, and
What
there
direction?
isn't a sun on the other
Nope.
rocks.
Nope.
Okay.
The sun has 10 rays.
What direction is the arrow?
I guess it depends on which way you hold the rock. You could spin it in.
Oh, we can pick up the rock?
These ones are not bound by anything. They are just simply
Oh.
rocks on the ground.
Fascinating.
I step on the pressure plate. Does anything happen?
The pressure plate sinks into the sandstone, but nothing else changes.
Okay.
Even the rays are a part of the loose rocks?
Nope,
Or no?
the sun is on the sandstone trapdoor that ooze open in the
Right.
last puzzle.
Right.
So maybe we have to put the rocks in a certain position around the sun beams?
Maybe there were four rocks, right?
There's 4 rocks, and there's 1 pressure plate, and there's the sun.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
like puzzles.
I just looked. We pulled chat the difficulty of the 3rd puzzle, and you guys are not gonna like it. That's all I
Oh,
can
no,
say.
I'm
Oh,
scared.
great.
I'm so scared. I apparently am bad at puzzles.
I think
I'm only good at
Matrix
one
should have been
type.
on the stream. They're good at puzzles.
All right, what do you want to do?
Okay.
You want to ask? You can ask chat. What would you have? 4 rocks. They each have a different shape. There's a pressure plate, and there's a sun on the door. Or stands on the slab.
Wait,
I would
can
like
we
to put the rocks like just on the corners of the slab around the sun, and then press the pressure plate.
Okay, you do that, and as soon as you step on the pressure plate, nothing happens.
Gotta be something with the 10 beams. Why? 10 beams must be important.
Can I stack
Well-
the rocks on the pressure plate?
Yeah, if you want to.
I was gonna add up the sides again, but that doesn't. I'm really confused about how many sides some of these have.
Yeah.
Ooze, you stack up the rocks again, and as you do, you kind of put them all on there, and the pressure plate does sink in quite deep, but nothing changes with the door.
Maybe it
What
has
a-
to be an equivalent number or weight to the 10 beams, so like 10 sides altogether, whatever rocks accumulate to that number on their sides or something.
Maybe the
Would you say a
arrow
hexagon?
and
A hexagon, a heart, a star, and an arrow.
Arrow and hexagon.
Okay, let's do that.
Is that what you want to put on there?
Yeah.
Okay. You go ahead and you place the arrow and the hexagon stones on the pressure plate, and it sinks in, but nothing changes.
Math minor, by the way. All right, let's see.
Oh, I'm sorry. It opens. That's my bad.
Thank you. I was like, well, now I don't know what to do.
As Marrow puts the rocks on, sorry, I was looking at the wrong label. As Marrow puts the rocks on, sure enough, the trapdoor slips and slides open, revealing once
Why
again
did that work?
another bag of golden gems. Good job, puzzling
Let's
skeletons.
go.
You guys are really on
I'll
top of it.
praise the finger.
I'll-
Raise the
It is
finger!
It's
Yeah,
my
no
my
frog.
partner watches over me. Waits for their beloved, which is me.
There is another note within this puzzle as well.
Can I read this note?
It is the same as the first. It simply
I
reads,
grab
if
it
you can
immediately,
solve-
but then I hand it to Ooze.
if you can solve all 3, there will be a bigger prize waiting. That is what it says.
I hand it back to Gorm.
All yours, buddy.
I add it to the stack.
Nice. Incredible. All right, who wants the second bag of golden gems?
I think Marrow deserves it this time.
Okay. You can add
Yeah.
that to your inventory.
No.
All right, that is the second puzzle solved. What is next? What is next?
Puzzle 3. Puzzle 3.
Where's the third one? And I look around to see if I see more rocks.
To see if you can see more rocks. Sure enough,
Yeah.
off in the distance, you can see one final stack of rocks on a dune maybe a couple hundred feet away from you.
Let's
There's
do
another
it.
book rock over there.
Book rock!
Okay. Well, luckily, chat has pulled the difficulty for this puzzle to be math difficulty. So,
Oh.
as you
That
all
was
approach
mean.
the final puzzle rock, well, this is great.
That was
Chat can
mean
help
of
you as well.
y'all.
As you approach the final puzzle rock, it looks a little different than the other 2 puzzle rocks you've come across so far. Instead of there being any rocks this time, there is instead another sort of sheet of papyrus with a similar looking language that you guys read on the notes. There is another combination lock with 2 dials, similar to the very first puzzle, on another sandstone slab. Other than that, that is it. It is just this sheet of papyrus that is affixed to a nearby cactus.
And we
Is there anything on this sheet of papyrus?
You can read it if you desire.
I'm going to attempt to read it, despite the fact that I cannot read.
No, that's okay. This is a special language. All right. So, you might want to take notes, chat and party members. This is the math level puzzle for our final puzzle. As the clock rang out 6 times on high, the sun fashioned a triangular shadow below. In addition to the perplexed people of the town square, there was an oddly shaped stone now where the shadow lay. The people removed the stone, as the shape of the stone was that of a decahedron, cursed among their village. Finally, the holy sphere was divided up amongst the remaining residents and was a suitable addition to the day's previous events.
Wow.
Okay.
I hated that.
So that's the puzzle.
That's the puzzle.
All right.
You have
well,
2
it was
numbers.
fun. See y'all later.
I hate that.
So the clock rang 6 times was the first number,
Yep.
and then something about a triangle and adding. God. Okay.
The clock rang out 6 times on high. The sun fashioned a triangular shadow below. In addition to the perplexed people of the town square, there was an oddly shaped stone now where the shadow lay. The people removed the stone, and the shape of the stone was that of a decahedron, cursed among their village. Finally, the holy sphere was divided up amongst the remaining residents and was a suitable addition to the day's previous events.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's like a 3-dimensional rock.
So it was
It's like
clock
a,
rang
it's
6
like a-
times.
a
There's a
D10.
triangular shadow. And there was
Decahedron is 10.
a rock that got added, which is the decahedron.
Mhm.
What was the part about a sphere?
Well, here, I'll tell you this. You guys can solve it in order. And the first order is just this. As the clock
wait a
rang out
second.
6 times on high, the sun fashioned a triangular shadow below. That's it. That's the first
Okay.
puzzle you can solve.
9.
What?
6. Triangle has 3 sides. 9.
6 times?
No, like 6 plus 3.
Why?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
plus?
I don't know.
Matt has listed the important things in chat that they have found.
Thank you, Matt.
As the clock rang out 6 times on high, the sun fashioned a triangular shadow below.
Okay. So
Either.
I'm thinking that times may be a keyword. So 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there yeah, I guess is there an implement by which we like provide our answer to this puzzle?
Well, the little combination lock, same as the first one. You have
Oh,
two
okay.
digits,
So-
2 numbers.
So yeah, we try 18.
Okay, well, you try 18, and as you pull, nothing happens, but you can move on to the second part of the puzzle if you wish.
Okay, so hold on. 18. I'm writing this down physically.
This is
I-
brought to you by chat with math difficulty. Any other puzzle
Math
would not have been this
difficulty
long.
indeed.
So,
Okay.
And what was it?
6,
It was
triangle.
then there's a town square.
In addition to the perplexed people of the town square, there was an oddly shaped stone now where the shadow lay.
So
32.
In addition to the town square, there was
so that would be
an
18
oddly shaped
plus,
stone.
18 plus 4 for the town square, right?
Okay, so 18 plus 4, and then I think plus 10, but it might be minus 10. What's
But
the
The
rest
next
of the
sentence
thing?
is the people removed the stone, as the shape of the
Oh.
stone was that of a decahedron, cursed
Okay.
among
Okay,
the
so
village.
then that's minus 10.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
What are you at right now for your numbers? This is a lot of math. It is.
The number that we came to is 12.
Okay. The final part of the sentence says, finally, the holy sphere was divided up amongst the remaining residents and was a suitable addition to the day's previous events.
12 divided by 3.14159. 26953, I think is the rest of it.
I think so.
Wait, so it's saying the holy sphere, which is different from the rock potentially, was divided amongst, what was the bit about previous stuff?
Amongst the remaining residents and was a suitable final addition to the day's previous events.
Okay. Guys, math is hard.
What
I
number?
have an
Are you,
English
Bring it
degree.
today.
what number are you currently at?
12.
So we were at 12.
Okay.
Divided amongst the people, but I don't think we have a number associated with people, right?
No.
Matt has an offering.
If you divide the sphere into 12, it's 12 pieces. So yeah, that's what I was wondering. This, I think the sphere is supposed to be.
Oh, is the sphere a clock?
Just says sphere.
Oh, maybe
Uh,
it's not. Clocks are definitely not spheres, but like maybe that's the idea. Why 12? I thought the sphere was like referring to the rock, which was the 10-sided thing.
I also thought that as well.
hey, read the last part again.
Finally, the holy sphere was divided up amongst the remaining residents and was a suitable final addition to the day's previous events.
Alright, so we
Holy
divide
sphere.
by the number of however many numbers we were adding up before,
Oh,
and then
That-
add the
that's a
amount of
good
days.
point. Which was
So 12 divided by
4.
What?
how many numbers? There was 6. There was 4. There was
No.
10. Right?
There
So
was
no,
6.
it's 6, 3, 4, 10.
That's right.
Yeah, 6, 3, 4, 10. Yeah. So
3.
10 divided by 4 plus
Isn't it 12?
12? Wait, no,
12
12 divided by 4 plus 12?
plus the amount of days. How many days did it take? Or each day prior?
Well, no,
just
because
said
it
a
was.
suitable final addition to the day's previous events.
Oh, so it's divided by something else and then add 4.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Wait. It's add 4?
It would be add 4, right? Because there were 4 things that happened 4 numbers the day previous. So, addition to the day's previous events.
Okay.
Would it be divided by 4, which was the numbers, and then we take that number as a result and add to the total of the previous numbers?
We can try that. That might be it. So that would be 12 divided by 4, 3, plus 12.
Yeah.
So 15.
Is
Let's
that
try it.
Is that the
Those
number
are
you're
nice
gonna enter?
numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try it.
They're on their own. Yeah, I know, Chad. This was the math
No,
difficulty.
no, I
puzzle.
had to fully step out of character to do this.
No,
Oh,
the
the
answer
answer
is
is
probably
42
42.
probably? Yeah, I think it actually is 42.
You
That's
guys
the
enter
answer.
15 in the combination lock, and as you pull, there's a click as it opens.
oh, thank God.
Oh,
And
we're
then-
Oh,
so
thank
smart
God.
and
Than me.
sexy.
The slate surely does
We're so good at math.
pull away. Now, Matt did activate Bone Dragon's Horde, so there is actually extra treasure in here.
I thought there was gonna be a bone dragon to fight us.
A bone drag. Yes, Matt activated the bone. You guys did it. That is deserving of some applause. Thank you, Chad. That is very, very fair.
I like the idea that there's just 4 skeletons sitting around this.
They're all
Like,
like-
and they're like doing math on fingers, and it's like drawn in the sand. Like, no, it's this way. And then
We're like developing math
Skills.
notation systems because none of
Yeah.
us know how to do math.
All right, guys, we gotta keep moving. So, as the final stone slate on the ground beneath you slides into the sand, a large leather pouch full of golden gems is now within reach again. As you grasp it, you can feel that sensation once more on the back of your bony necks, like you're being watched. Sure enough, before you can react, a voice calls out from behind the stones.
What? Can it be? You solved all 3 of the Puzzle Master's puzzles?
That just comes out of the blue.
Who are you?
The source of this voice steps out from behind the rocks and turns out to be a rather stout and peculiar-looking gnome. His long, wiry hair extends far past his minute ears, and a set of weathered spectacles rests poorly on an oversized strawberry nose. He looks up at you all expectantly, excitedly, awaiting some sort of response.
I thought you were going to be a shark. I got scared there for
A
a
shark?
minute.
Oh, heavens no, I hate sharks. Sharks can't solve puzzles. They don't have a brain. Yeah.
Either do we.
Neither do I.
No, they've got brains. I've eaten their brains.
No. That can't be right. But wait, did you solve the final puzzle? You must have, right?
They did.
Yeah, I think so. Look, there's a lot of. Oh, never mind. The writing in the sand got. We ruined it.
Anyway.
For the shiny teeth.
There was a poll for something, but I do not see the response. I will, hopefully that rolls in. You see as the Puzzle Master kind of jumps up for joy as this gnome kind of inventor kind of,
Well, that's puzzles, baby.
as he just says his famous catchphrase that the Puzzle Master always says. And you watch as he kind of gestures and he says,
Well, a promise is a promise. Just like I said, a bigger reward for you folks.
and he kind of reaches into his backpack.
Where is this? Oh, here.
And you watch him pull out an obtrusively long appendage that just comes out of his back.
What's
And
that?
sure enough, it is the arm, not bone, fully intact flesh and claws of a sandy gator, which is a desert-style alligator. It is much larger than most of your arms, but he just kind of plops it in front of you, looking happy.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
I
dang.
wanted teeth.
No, I don't have any teeth, but let's see here.
And he kind of
You
peers
have
down.
your teeth.
There is something else at the bottom of the puzzle pit, which, thanks to the Bone Dragon's Horde, is actually it is an acid vial.
Oh hell yeah! Let's dissolve this flesh.
So one of you
swear,
can
but
grab
then
the
I
acid
stopped
vial. One of you
myself.
needs to grab the bag of golden gems. And there is still the arm he is waiting expectantly to give you.
Oh my. I will hold the arm if you would like to acidify the skin and flesh off.
I will remind you guys can have one non-bone appendage should you decide.
That's true.
I have
I'll
the magic
grab.
finger. He's got the book spine. They
I've
got
I've got the rabbit pelvis.
the pelvis.
I got
Chobani, this might be on
alabaster.
Yeah, I think Choboni's turn for funky appendage has come.
Oh, but
Oh,
I'm scared,
absolutely.
guys. I don't know.
It really,
Oh.
it doesn't hurt at all. I
It
do
does
it
not
all
hurt.
the time.
Yeah,
Really?
it's a rite of passage for skeletons.
Yeah.
Oh,
like us.
I guess I'll have to blend. I guess I'll have to be accept what I really am.
Yeah, I don't really know what you mean by that. But
Yeah.
wasn't
Anyways,
gonna
it's oh dear God that narrates for us. Is it a right or left arm?
It is a right arm.
All right, Chobani's gonna very slowly and nervously pop his right arm off.
you gotta do it real quick, like a band-aid.
Oh, my bad. Chobani puts his arm back on and then pops it off really fast, and then grabs the alligator sand gatораtor arm and
The
puts it
Gatorade.
on. It starts
The
wiggling
Gatorade
his-
arm?
So do I have claws now?
I don't know if you guys have ever seen Rick and Morty, but there's an episode where Morty gets armathy, which is just like a giant arm for
Yes!
his body. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, you have 3 gator-like claw-like appendages instead of fingers now that you can control. This as an attack does a D4 of damage instead of just a D3.
Oh, so just like the dagger I already have.
Yeah, pretty much, but it is an entire
dagger.
arm that is basically the length of you.
That's
So.
true. So
Just
no
drags
reach
in the
though, no
sand.
reach.
I'd like to grab the bag of golden gems.
Okay.
It's cool with everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
And Marrow has the vial of acid right now.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll keep it just in case Shiboni needs to have a different non-bone entity on
Yeah.
the body.
Yes.
Smart.
He'll be
Well,
able to
the
keep
puzzle
on.
master kind of excitedly,
Well, thank you so much for solving my puzzle. I'm gonna have to go make harder ones now. And he kind of,
he just kind of starts, oh, yes?
We could use the poison on him and get free limbs.
Oh, we could use it and get new.
With the acid.
Good point. Stay right here.
As you are saying this, you watch him bound and click his heels off into the distance as he just sort of runs off.
Wait, no,
into the
wait,
distance.
no. Where's the human necromancer?
Wait, please come back.
And he is
I want
is
your
completely run off. The only path forward is to the north where the human dungeon lies.
To the shark.
Shoot the shark.
Wait, where's the shark?
I don't
Shark
know.
has feet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Shark.
let's go get the shark.
So,
It's the first trap. We did puzzles. Now we're into the trap region of this dungeon.
Oh yeah. We gotta go to the combat room next.
Yeah, exactly.
so sure enough, as
I
you guys
never liked the
continue forward, the sort of hot dunes around you eventually give way to more loose sand as cliff faces kind of barge up on either side of you. There's a couple of rocks that are sort of scattered, and eventually you can see the ground in front of you begin to slowly give way to gravel and then eventually dirt off in the distance. But before you can decide on going any further to this human dungeon, and before we have any more advances, all of a sudden the ground beneath you begins to rumble. And I'm going to need everyone to roll a d10 to dodge something.
Catch me outside. How about that? 10 again.
10
Oh,
again.
that's a 2.
2?
That's a
Is that Gormf with an 8? Alright, Gormf and Cho are fine. Marrow and Ooze. As you are both standing, all of a sudden, you see the sand beneath you begin to fall away as a great maw begins to stretch out of the sand beneath you and clamps down on both of you, revealing our friend, the sand shark. Here we go.
The sand shark.
Oh yeah, that'd be the shark.
He's a wee bit bigger than I expected.
So in that sense, I am going to roll a d10 to see where the shark has hit you both. That is a 9, which for you guys is what? What body part is
Left
that?
arm.
That is the
9
arm?
is
The torso.
yeah, left arm.
Left arm. Okay.
Left arm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Quartz and Nick, you guys both take 1 hitbox of damage to your right arm.
Right arm or
Left
left
arm. Left arm.
It pops off, yeah.
Only if you take as many hitboxes as exist take damage, and then oh yes, no, you're right. It does also pop off. Thank you.
Yep.
Whenever it takes damage, you watch as both of your left arms fall to the ground, which you need to take an action to reattach at any point. And sure enough, this large, scaled sand shark comes flailing out of the sand, and you watch as you kind of like dodge in part ways as it starts kicking up sand and flailing. This must be the sand shark that the other skeleton troop, the Funny Bones, were telling you about. As it races towards you to battle, we will turn on the tactical map as you guys will now fight the old sand shark. Let us get to the... Here we go. Okay, so we have all of our tokens intact. The shark is right here as you guys are here. Okay, you each can move 5 squares every turn. You don't know how much the shark can move. I will tell you right now, the shark's toughness... I don't know if you guys can see the shark's toughness, but the shark's toughness is 9. And it has 2 what is known as armor as well.
Uh-oh.
Ah, well, Gormf, you have been redeemed lucky. The next D10 you roll adds +1 to your D10. Thank you, Year, for that channel point redemption.
Yay!
Incredible.
Wow.
Nebulous audience.
All right, so you guys get to go in any order you decide right now. The shark will go after you 4 go.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are we supposed to see a battle map?
Click the little tactical button. Yes, it will show up.
What is the
Like
tactical
the top right.
It looks like a map in the top right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, what would you guys like to do? Sand shark is here.
I guess. You go first.
Being
right next.
so lucky as I am, I would like
True.
to I would like to hold my scimitar and smack the shark in its dumb little eye.
All right, so you want to run up to the shark?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. Okay. As the shark is flailing around in the sand, you are going to roll where to hit. Let me just pause.
Do I roll? I roll just the D10 for where to hit.
Well, you will roll against its toughness. Give me 1 second, just so we are on the same page. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a D10.
Okay, and am I adding to this because of
Yep,
lucky?
you add. Yep, you do.
Okay. So I add 1 to this because of lucky. Do I add another because I'm hitting a thing?
Oh, because of your +1 to hitting things?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Okay. So here's the D10.
Okay.
That's a 6 plus 2 is 8.
Yes. So that will hit its technically left fin is where you're aiming to hit right now. Your
Great.
weapon probably doesn't have a bonus right off the bat. But now you can go ahead and roll your damage die. Whatever weapon you are using, that is the damage die you will roll, whether it's a D3 for unarmed
Right.
or another damage for your weapon. Your
And
goal...
my +1 to hitting doesn't add to this.
No, your goal is to beat the toughness of the creature, but obviously if you can't beat the toughness, every time you roll damage, it decreases the toughness by 1. So go ahead and roll. What is your weapon? What are you using right now?
I'm using a scimitar.
Okay. Scimitar strike, 3. Obviously 3 does not beat a 9. However, its toughness is now reduced from 9 down to 8, so it's easier to auto-kill in the future. So I will...
Can we say that, like, chipped off a tooth?
Considering
hit
you're
its
attacking
fin.
its fin, maybe not.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I forgot it was the fin. Yeah.
No worries. All right.
It's an arm and your teeth fly.
A smite. A smite from Yer. Yair, would you like to do a smite on one of our hero skeletons or the enemy? Your call.
What does smite
God.
do?
Smite deals the damage to a target of your choice.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh,
Enemy.
Oh my god, you're so nice.
All right, you know what, Yair? Go ahead and do ! roll in chat, and that will roll a d10 for you. I'm helping.
You're wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Thanks,
that
Yair.
is very, very
Yeah.
helpful. A 7! All right.
Oh.
So that is, I believe that's the other fin. No, that's the torso. As out of nowhere, you witness a bolt of pure energy just siphon out of the clouds and crack down onto the back of this sand shark as it flails backwards. And that
Good things
will
are
be
happening since I picked up this spine.
1 point of smite damage. Exactly. So I will go ahead and reduce the damage of, or the toughness. So now all you have to do is beat a 7 in the future. I don't know if any of you can do that, but there you go.
Not yet.
And
So
I could.
can Ooze come right up here and also scimitar it?
Yeah, you are missing your left arm, keep in mind, but yes, you can.
Yeah, scimitar is a one-handed weapon
Yes,
though.
yes,
And
I think you
Ooze
do
uses
get
their...
a -1 for each limb you're
you
missing.
do. Every limb
Yeah.
you're missing, you get a -1 to your roll.
That's fair.
Okay.
In that case, so that's a 6.
A 6. That, yeah, okay, so that also hits it right in the torso. All right, go ahead and roll your damage dice.
Okay. God, what's the scimitar damage die again?
It's a D6.
It is. It should be
Right.
as an action as well in your action little.
You're right. I was on equipment.
That's okay.
Give me a second. There it is.
Most of these music, this music is from Easter eggs in games, so maybe you guys will know what they are. Is that a 4?
That is a 4.
Okay, you knock its toughness down again. Good job, guys. Now all you have to do in the future is beat a 6. You've already done quite well against this thing. Okay. All right, that is Ooze and Gormf. That leaves Marrow and Cho Bony. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna reattach my arm.
Okay. Marrow spends their action just sort of reattaching their arm. Okay.
Cho will move out for the sick flank
Okay.
with Gormth.
Yep.
And then let's see.
Wow.
Oh.
A 9 is also the left fin.
And then I'm gonna swipe. Let's see if this works. I made an action for it. I'm gonna swipe with my my arm.
Okay.
Should be a D4.
Okay.
Okay.
3. So again, it doesn't kill it yet, but now all you have to do is beat a 5 as you swipe against its almost ironed hide.
I love that we're on opposite sides of it and we hit the same fin.
Somehow.
Yeah. I reached my arm around all the way around, and then I hit the other fin.
arm.
Or maybe I went to hit it from above, and it just went. I just slapped the top of him, and it just came back around, and then hit the other side.
I love that.
So
Love it.
the sand shark is immediately going to lash out and try and bite Choboni first,
Yeah.
which it does because
Yeah, you
you
would.
guys always take a hit. That is an 8, which for you, Choboni, is your left arm. Funnily enough.
Is that my left? Oh, it's my last normal arm.
Yeah.
Oh.
So as your left arm is hit, it takes 1 hitbox of damage, and it pops off as well.
Oh man.
So that's now in the sand. The sand shark is additionally going to move 1, 2, 3, right there. Okay. Back to you guys. What do you want to do?
Can I go bonk with my greatsword
Up to
now
the
that I have
team.
both arms?
Bonk, 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 bonk.
Bonk, bonk.
Go for it,
bonk
Nero.
it.
Let's do it.
Do you also have a luck-based hammer?
Nice.
No, it's a great axe.
All right, Mero, you want to run up to the shark and bonk it?
And bonk it.
I see where you hit it. Roll a d10.
Okay.
4.
Nice
Okay.
little 4.
Yep, no modifiers. Great. So that 4 for you means you are hitting it in the right arm, the right fin. And
Right
go
fin,
ahead and
finally.
do some damage.
Trying to amputee this guy. I feel bad now.
Great Axe Bonk is 5. Unfortunately, that doesn't beat 5. Otherwise, you almost killed it with that bonk. You are
I
very...
forgot you named the action Great Axe Bonk.
Yes. Sure enough, as Mero kind of leaves at it with their great axe, you watch his scales go flying everywhere, and it reduces his toughness by 1 again, as it is wont to do. Okay, Mero, that is your turn. Who wants to go next?
I'm just gonna pop my arm back on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to scimitar this guy again.
All right. Ooze has popped their arm back on. You want to go for another scimitar? Let's see it.
So if I can 1, 2, 3. What? I was moved back. All right, I'm not really sure what happened there.
It's okay. Try it again.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm rolling the d10 first,
Yeah,
right?
you are. Yep. To see where you hit.
Okay. So I rolled a 7.
Yep.
And I
Plus
add
1
1
to
because I'm
hit.
hitting.
Nice. Another
8.
8. Man, this poor left fin. All right.
Wow.
Roll damage. Oh, again! You've matched the
no.
toughness. You haven't beaten it.
Oh,
So that lowers the toughness
no.
once more. So it's now a 3. All right, which means I
God,
think
this fin is so hard, guys.
only Choboni is left, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Ooze put the arm back on.
And the
you gonna do?
-1 only
Yeah.
goes to the where to hit, not the damage. If you're missing a limb.
Yeah, the -1 only goes to trying to hit. Yes.
Okay. I'll just say I'll leave my arm in the dust and I'll
Okay.
go in.
That is a
Oh,
well.
no,
So it would have been a
no.
perfect nat 10, which you would have crit on, but instead it is a
Oh.
9, which is very unfortunate. So
No.
that's unfortunate.
No.
And a 1
Oh,
swipe.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh. Okay. Well, that does.
Nice
Well,
flick 'em.
actually, so you've officially enacted with its armor ability. If you ever roll a 1, it loses armor instead of toughness because of how armored the hide is. So it does not lose toughness. It loses 1 of its armor.
Feels bad.
That does
Feels bad.
feel
Rip.
very bad. All right. Well, now Sandshark gets to go. So Sandshark, this turn is actually going to burrow.
Oh god.
Bruh.
Wait, no, where are you
Burrow.
going?
Roll it.
No,
Wait,
this,
no, come
this is
back.
the combat room. You're not.
You're not allowed to leave.
Okay.
No,
that's
it's
cheating.
Combat room. You forfeit.
And
The
that is
necromancer's gonna kill you, man.
that is its whole turn. Back to you guys.
Can we do some stompies?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Stomp on the sand.
So
Get out.
can we like tell where it is under the sand, or
Oh,
like it's
true.
gone?
You can roll for vibration sense if you would like to,
Can I sense its skeleton?
because of
Because I have skeleton experience as a skeleton
yes,
skeleton.
but not magical skeletons. No, you
He's a
cannot.
shark.
You cannot natively sense its skeleton.
Oh.
Can Ooze just like kind of dig themselves under the ground and see?
Go ahead and roll a d10 for how well you can dig in the heat of combat.
Wait, why don't you just go in the hole that he just dug?
It's
That is true.
it's sand. It's not much of a hole anymore, as it's sort of piled
Yeah.
back into a nothing.
Just start digging. Just follow them
Well,
down.
you
Take
know,
a
that's
dive.
an 8.
You
That
watch
is
Ooze
an
basically just burrow themselves into freedom. It's just down into the sand, and sure enough, Ooze also disappears into the sand.
Oh god.
All right,
Uh,
the three of you
Oh,
are
gosh.
remaining. Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna try and like feel and listen for where the sand
Tapirs,
shark is.
who would you like to heal with that health boost? Thank you very much for the redemption.
Oh my god.
That is 1 healed hitbox. I guess, well, actually, we have to, it's a roll, isn't it? It is a roll. That is me rolling a d4. Quartz, are you damaged?
I am down a hitbox on my left arm.
Then you heal that hitbox. There
Yay!
you go. Thank you, Tapir. All right, the 3 of you left. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go get my arm.
Okay, you run back to where your arm is. You can drag yourself back, and you action to reattach. All right, Marrow and Gormf, what are you guys gonna do?
I have a question.
Yes.
When we put the arm back on, is that hitbox still filled in? Even though we put the arm back on?
Yes, it is. It is still damaged. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna wait
oh, go ahead.
so patiently.
All right, Gormf.
I'm gonna hold my turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna just try to find where the sand shark is, either by like listening for
Yeah, go
feeling
ahead and
vibrations.
roll a d10 for sensing.
That's a 1.
Aw.
That's
You know what?
not
That
hot.
fully checks out.
You don't feel a single vibration. In fact, you're not even sure your feet are still attached to your pelvis at this point. You're kind of like waiting expectantly, and there's just nothing. There's nothing going on in the sand.
I check that my legs are still there. They are. I'm like, oh, okay. Guys, I think the shark just left.
Incredible.
That means we won, right?
That does.
Yeah, I
say
think
that.
we won. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's over? Alright, cool.
Ooze hears none of this.
No, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you're underground.
Okay.
Wait, where did Ooze go?
Ooze is.
Wait,
gone.
You hear,
Ooze- oh, no.
you hear like a very muffled scream. As
Oh,
the
Ooze
sand
went
shark
for the
comes
teeth,
up to
didn't they?
Ooze.
Oh no, Ooze.
Uh-oh.
So you watch then on the sand shark's turn. As part of its action, it burrows, pops out of the sand next to Chobani and just chomps down right on Chobani.
I found it!
So,
Oh, thanks, Choboni.
Good job.
No problem.
that. Oh no! That's a 10. All right, Cho.
no.
So that is your first damaged hitbox to your skull, which I will remind you in chat. If you ever break your skull, you die. So that is 1
Oh,
damaged
no.
hitbox to your skull as the sand shark lumps back down into the sandy dunes.
You okay, Alabaster?
He's rattling around up there in your skull.
Alabaster, no.
Um,
Wait, so is the shark now back
Yep.
under?
no, it's on the
Sand?
surface. It is not burrowed again.
I go bonk.
Perfect.
Yeah, that is the shark's turn. Meru, you want to go first?
I go bonk.
Okay.
It is still hidden for us.
True. That is a fair point.
Mhm.
I will unhide it. There you go. Oh, that's not the button. It is the show button. There you go. So,
There it is.
Meru, go ahead and roll with your great axe. Yep, so 5 is, I think is it pelvis? No, 5 is right arm, that right fin again, and roll damage.
My gosh.
Bonk.
We're nothing.
All right,
Bonk.
all right. Meru has successfully done it. Congratulations, Meru.
Yay.
So you watch as finally Meru swings the great axe once more, cleaving at the fin of this sand shark. Sure enough, it goes a little deeper than you originally anticipated, as it just slides right into it with a deafening shh. And sure enough, the sand shark flails back and forth for one final time before stopping and laying dormant, dead, as it falls back in a cloud of sand. Congratulations.
All praise the finger,
All
praise the finger.
The sand
does
shark.
his
I
head
go
pop
over
up?
and reattach Choponi's head.
Oh, so kind.
That's fair. I guess that did pop
Just
off.
sitting in the. I'm sure they're like, guys, hello, y'all there? Hello, anyone?
You
Jaboni of
skull
all
kind of
people.
pops up from under the sand, and they're just like, did we do it?
Oh yeah, true. It was in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was easy. No problems.
No
Could've taken
problem.
10.
Yeah, you could have taken 10, exactly. Yes, which
It was
is...
just more teeth.
Ooze wants teeth so badly.
Alright, Ooze,
We
you
had
head
more,
over to
not
the
right?
to the corpse of the sand shark, and you take some
Oh, yeah.
time, but you pry off one giant sand shark tooth.
That is going straight into Ooze's skull.
Ooze, it is bigger than your skull.
It could be like a top fin. It could be like a top fin. You put it like right on top.
Yeah.
Wear it like a hat.
I remind
Yeah,
the party there are no additional joints where joints would not be.
It's
But you
aesthetic.
can wear it
aesthetic.
like a hat.
Yeah, Ooze wears
That's
it
not
like a
a
big
It's not a
sun-
mechanic. It's just a hat.
big sun
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not
Fight the DM. Fight the DM.
if you can keep
No,
it
no.
balanced on your head, yeah, you can have it up there. That's fine.
Roll the balance.
Troll
Can Ooze like kind of try to lift up their little metal hoop
And try to slide it through the metal hoop. I'm gonna be honest here, Ooze. You're gonna need something better than a metal hoop to attach the old tooth. For now, you can carry it, but it does take both of your arms to carry.
I'm okay with this.
Can
Okay.
you slot it into the ribs and just have it like rattle around
No,
or jam in?
in the center of your ribs, like a
Yeah.
little,
Yeah, just like big a spike.
like a plate.
Exactly.
The
Okay.
frogs.
Okay.
Well-
Edward.
Combat room, we did it.
You
Oh,
did.
I'm so good at this
Trap
dungeon.
room next.
You did do it.
Well, Tim at the Half Pint Tavern only said traps and treasure, and we got the treasure, and this seems to be kind of a trap with the
Oh.
combat. So
Oh,
I think
wait, what
Alice is
about-
next.
What about those improv guys? Didn't they tell us to go back after we killed the shark?
If we needed assistance? Oh, because they asked us to kill
yeah.
the shark.
Mm,
Yeah, let's go back to them.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys very rapidly make your way back towards the funny bones. As they all kind of wave, oh, welcome back! Oh, did you come to hear more of our jokes? Oh, fantastic!
Oh no, we just we killed the shark.
Oh,
Just to let you know.
Ooze holds up their tooth.
oh,
My bloody axe.
right. Well,
I
a
showed them the
promise-
crack in my skull.
God, wow, you guys are really banged up. Well, a promise is a promise. Here, follow me. And he sort of takes you around the campfire and sort of rummages through their traveling sack. And because Bone Dragon Horde was also activated, you guys get a little bonus loot here. Thank you very much, chat. As he pulls out a piece of metal armor that fits a torso. So if anyone wants an armor slot for their torso, that would be pretty cool. Up to whoever wants one.
I'll pass.
What do you guys think?
I don't need it.
I like bones.
Mara, do you want armor or?
I mean, I don't have any armor, and I'm bonk central, so
Marrow,
perhaps
please
I
take
should
armor.
get it so I can tank.
Okay.
Take armor, Marrow.
I'll take
I
armor.
have some armor, but it's just the arm. But that's
It's
okay.
armor.
Armor.
All right, Maro's gonna take the plus
Oh,
2
that's a good one.
hitboxes metal armor. That's good.
Do I add a
Yep,
hitbox to
you
my
have
chest?
plus 2 max hitboxes because of the metal armor now to your torso.
Oh,
which is
dude,
great.
that's so many.
Yep. You also find the skeleton, because of Bone Dragon Horde, also pulls out. Oh, we also have this old book that we don't need if anyone wants this.
I take it and put it in my mouth.
What? I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh, car, and then I wedge it in my rib cage.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all we have to give you guys, unfortunately. But thank you so much for
the book.
thank you for slaying the sand shark. Now we can travel freely through the desert once again.
Yeah, congratulations.
You're headed to the human dungeon, right?
Oh,
Gormp is
yeah.
now reading the book.
Gormp is now reading the book.
I wonder what it says.
As-
Just turning each page.
As you guys turn to leave, the sort of front humoristic skeleton leader of the Funny Bone Troop says, "Oh, we found something etched the other day that might come in handy to you about the human dungeon." And as they say this, you know, everything sort of goes quiet because I can control my own music. And as everything goes quiet, you hear the skeleton, almost with a reverberated voice, say, "When the time is right and the air is tight, knock 3 times for adventure's delight." And just as soon as he says it, he kind of smiles once more, and the wind picks up around you once more, and you are free to move about your way.
Well,
that a
that wasn't
knock-knock
ominous
joke?
at all.
I think it was a joke, knock joke, but I didn't get
It
it.
wasn't a very good joke.
No.
Yeah. They're
No,
not
no,
really
just-
good.
kind of funny.
Something we read. All right,
That
you know,
wasn't
best of
You
luck
can
ominous at
read?
all.
in your future endeavors. Yes, of course we can. We're skeletons.
Knock 3 times and what?
When the air is tight, knock 3 times for adventure's delight.
Ah, okay. Or
Oh,
Got
maybe
it.
it's like a meal. Adventurer's
Oh,
Delight.
like
sounds
a
good
Turkish
meal.
delight? Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you guys, with the spoils of the Patella Wastes now firmly in tow, you finish your journey and start to head north once more to the human dungeon. What perils and tricks lie in the human dungeon ahead? Well, that will be for our adventurers to find out, and for chat, of course, to be pulled on. But here we are going to take a 5-minute break, guys, so we can run to the bathroom, grab some drinks, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we will let our lovely actors go. Wave goodbye, actors. We'll see you in 5. I'm gonna turn off your cameras, like that. There we go. And now it's just me on stream. So, guys, thank you so much for watching so far. For all of those that have stuck around, for those of you that are just showing up, welcome. We have a lot of laughs and more fun to come by. Remember to use the channel point redemptions if anyone wants to do any more with some fancy DMing skills. You can go to !donate for some premium actions. Other than that, I hope you guys are enjoying so far. This has been a very fun experiment to tag along with the story. And don't worry, we will have a lot more necessary rolling and polling come the human dungeon. But stay tuned, and we will be back in just a little bit. See you then. All right, welcome back to Change of Fate, the show where the audience has all of the answers and obviously the party does not. You guys can control the outcomes and anything else you'd like to influence with the channel points or other interaction methods below. This has been a super fun experiment so far, so why don't we pick back up where we left off, leaving the Patella Wastes, going forward
Music's
to
still loud.
the human dungeon. So let me add... Bam! There you go. You're back.
Hello.
Everyone can
Oh
see
boy.
I'm back, baby.
We're back.
All right, so you guys have successfully navigated through the Patella Wastes and now approach the human dungeon, which I believe we said was Summervale, if I remember correctly.
It's Bonesborough.
No, you're right. It was Bonesborough.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
Bonesborough.
Bonesborough, like the Owl House.
Ah.
Yes, which
Like the human dungeon.
Like the human.
Like the
dungeon.
human dungeon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just before we, was there a thing for me to learn from this book, or was it just this is a book for
As
fun?
you pan through the book while you are traveling, there are no words. It is a picture book instead.
Yes.
You can
That's
legitimately
kind.
add it to your inventory. It's called a book of many pictures.
Wah.
It is an item. You can read the
Perfect for
description
Gorm.
should you so wish.
It's just pictures of books.
Oh my god,
It's
yes.
a picture book of more
Book
books.
of many pictures.
That's the one.
Add.
And it is pictures of books.
All right. So, as you leave the crusted heap human town as known as Bonesboro. That's exactly correct.
Okay, Townsboro, got it.
No, wait,
Bonesboro.
Bonesboro.
Main
No,
Bones.
Bonesboro. It is a All right, look. Can you
The
guys
town
just
of Bonesboro.
go
Bone Town?
Dungeon.
go
The
back?
town dungeon of Bonesboro.
Go
Is
back
there, is
to
there
where you
another
came.
door?
Are you asking me or are you asking the guards?
The guards.
They kind of, well, yeah, technically there's the south entrance by the sea, but you're not allowed in that way either.
All right, to the south, everybody.
That's fine.
No. And they kind of they kind of go to block your advance. No.
covered and see what their human version of blood is.
You can do that after the marine biologist, should you desire. Okay.
Ooh.
Just like the Owlin librarian said, sure enough, at the end of the road, there was a rather large alabaster white building with kind of glass inlets which allow you to see outside to the beach where it's very sort of presently sat. You see that the doorway is open and there are several sort of scholarly looking humans wearing long robes and glasses that sort of enter and leave, holding all manners of manuscripts, quills, and books of the sort. You sidle up to the doorframe and people give you strange looks, but no one does stop you as you try to enter the research lab. Sure enough, as you enter, you are met with a sight of wonder, even for skeletons, as there is just sort of tables and chairs and desks lined with all sorts of different books and jars and science alchemical, you know, facets and things like that, and lots of humans lay sort of very busy at work at what they're doing.
Are there any frogs?
This must be the boss room, right? There's so many
Surely
books.
there is the boss room.
There's gotta be at least one frog here.
I am here for the frog. Even as
Chat, I'm
Alabaster
gonna need
will
to
have
name
share the head.
something for the lead researcher's name. Also, let me just go up and do that.
It'd be Chobani.
Humans.
Pretty sure his name is
anonymous.
Boss, right? That's
Yeah.
No, he has to have a name, and then boss is his title, just like Nico the Necromancer. The
okay.
The Nicomancer, the Necromancer.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
maybe it's the something boss, the boss. So meant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nico Boss, the boss.
That makes
Hugo
sense.
boss.
Yeah. All right. I saw a couple of things in chat. I know Zelda music when I hear it. True. That is true. That's one of the Easter eggs. Yeah, we'll need a name for the old lab. And we have one. Matrix says, "All right." So, as you guys are sort of talking and asking about this boss, sure enough, you see a sort of slender-looking individual with a long white lab coat, blonde hair pulled back into a bun, kind of step up to you and says, "Oh, can I help you, thin folk, with something?"
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'd say you're just skin and bones, but you're evidently just bones.
It's a compliment, I think.
Please do not remind me of what I once had, for I wish to have it again.
I
Wait, you want skin?
apologize.
I kinda liked my skin.
Oh, okay. That's reasonable.
Sorry, is there a reason? Is someone pranking me? Bill, is it you? Did you animate these skeletons, Bill? What are you doing here?
Is Bill the boss?
We're sentient.
No,
Is this like a puppet villain situation?
No, I'm the head of the research facility. You may call me Chad, if it pleases you.
You're Chad. You're boss Chad.
I am boss
Boss
Chad.
Chad the boss?
If you
Chad boss.
whatever
boss.
floats your skeletal boats, I suppose. I'm in charge here at the lab. Is there something you needed?
Do you have boats?
Well, not me specifically. The town does. Sorry, what is your purpose here?
We're here to defeat you.
Right. So we're completing the human dungeon, right? So this is the human dungeon, and you're the boss, and we have to defeat you to get all the treasure, like all the books in this room. And
That's
the
how it
library.
works, right?
I
All
do not know
knowledge.
who has put you up to this, but I'm far too busy for this. Please, if you'll excuse me. And Chad kind of like starts to back away.
We pull our
Whoa,
weapons.
Chad.
No,
Who's
Chad,
the we in this?
Chad kind of like.
I start gathering books.
Nope, no, not allowed. Do not touch those, or I will call security. Please don't.
Can I
Look,
rummage around for teeth?
nope. Look, you all can do a very brief tour of the facility, if it so pleases you, before your animation spell runs out, and then kindly leave the rest of the lab technicians alone. All right, we're very busy here.
Oh, it's not gonna run out, ever.
I'm
What
pretty
does that
sure
mean,
Nico
Rona?
Mancer is concentrating on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know not the words you
Necromancer.
speak. And you watch as Chad kind of turns around and goes back to their work. No sooner has Chad kind of turned away, but you hear a psst from behind a sort of shelving unit of books.
Hello.
What are we? What are we
God?
here?
Just
God?
a quick little like psst, like a whisper. I don't know if Discord picks it up, but
Oh no,
God?
we didn't. Okay. What?
No, Cho will go investigate.
you kind
Go.
of peer around the shelving units of the books. Sure enough, you see a dwarf also wearing a similar lab coat to the individual who had just introduced themselves as Chad. And he kind of looks over. We'll also need a name for this dwarf, of course, chat. So if anyone has one, feel free to use those channel points. Let me just make sure we are in a good spot. Okay. The dwarf kind of like beckons you all over, and the dwarf's name is Thad. Sure enough, the dwarf kind of looks to you all and says, "Oi, I heard you talking to Chad over there. Were you saying something about defeating Chad?"
Oh, are you the boss? Oh no, you're the helpful NPC, right?
Well,
Like us. You're the us of Chad's domain.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're on about, but I can help you defeat Chad if that's something you're looking to do.
We're here for the treasure.
Oh hell yeah!
Well, okay, first of all, my name is Thad, just so you know, okay? It's important to remember.
Your name is Thad?
Yes,
Are you
Thad.
related
But,
to Chad?
No,
Are you
no,
just
do
like
we look
upset
anything
at
alike?
Chad for having a really similar name?
No,
I don't know, I
no,
can't see
it
your
was
bones.
completely unrelated. I'm a dwarf. Chad's a human. It has no relation. It's fine.
You
Look.
could be half dwarf.
If you want to defeat Chad, you have to see what's behind the restricted area. If you can, and he kind of looks at all of you, solve what's behind that door, it'll be the end of Chad, and you'll consider your quest defeated.
We're good at puzzles. We just need 3.
That's
Okay,
excellent
where's that
addition.
though?
Where's the restricted area?
Look, I've been looking to undermine Chad for a while now. Some of the ethics of this town are a bit questionable, if you ask me. And he says, the locals, they're fine, but any tourists that come into town, they go missing not too long afterwards. I know Chad has something to do with it, and I reckon it's in that restricted section. Did one of you ask a question?
Yes,
Where
but
is
I
the
can't
restricted
remember.
Section?
He kind of like
Oh,
points.
that was
There's like a big metal sliding door that says "Keep out, very restricted, especially from skeletons." Just plastered on the door right there.
I shrug
can't
and I
stop
walk
me,
towards
I
it
can't
with no
read.
caution.
Wait, I want to sneak towards it because I have a +1 to sneaking.
Thad reaches out and says, "No, you idiots! Don't go anywhere near the restricted section right now. It's completely biometrically locked. The only way you can get in is with an ID card that I happen to have."
Okay.
Okay, and I hold out my hand.
He said, "No, that's not how this works. Look, I need you to do one thing for me first, and if you can accomplish it, you can have the key card to get into the inner domain. Is that all right?"
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Maybe.
Kind of nods up and down. And Thad says, "Okay, so the original reason I came to seek work in this town is because there is a long-lost relic of my dwarven clan that is said to be buried somewhere around here. I've not had enough time to search for it myself, but if you can find it in a nearby region and bring it back to me, it is my birthright. I will give you the ID card and continue on your quest. Does that sound fair?"
Seems like a really big thing for a key card, but okay.
Well, I mean, that's important to me. This is important to you, you know, kind of balances out in the grand scheme of things.
Okay.
But like
Yeah,
you're
okay.
holding the key card right now.
Yes, but I need to be holding the relic. Does that make sense?
Right, but like we could
Find the
just
relic,
like
yes.
I look at Marrow and I'm just like, we just take it, right? That's something we could do.
We could, but he's not the boss.
We gotta
Louis
be
doesn't
nice
matter.
to. We gotta be nice to the people that aren't the boss.
Yeah, you know how we live alongside the
Uh.
succubus and
Yeah.
the zombies? Maybe.
Oh, he's
Maybe
like
if we kill
Jason the
Chad-
zombie. Okay.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
like Jason the zombie.
He's like
Jason
Jason.
zombie.
I wouldn't want an adventurer to like screw with Jason. Like that's not
Exactly.
right,
No, I
man.
love Jason.
Like he just works here.
Yeah.
This is just a job.
All right. Okay. We won't kill you and take your key card. We'll do the thing you
We'll
asked.
get you your
I'm
relic.
sorry, what? You'll get the relic?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand you're just doing your job.
Hey,
Mhm.
one more thing. Y'all are skeletons, right?
I
Yes.
would assume
I
so.
guess.
That's what
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
like.
Reaches into another shelf behind him and he holds out a human skull. And he says, "Could any of you use something like this? I don't really know how your anatomy works."
If our head comes poof, we die.
Oh, okay, well, we had like a whole barrel of these recently for some reason, so if you needed one, I figured I could part with it.
Can I put the skull on my skull like a helmet?
Well, I mean, you can have it up there. It won't give you any benefit, but yeah.
Why? It's an extra bone.
It will not give you any benefit.
What was I gonna say? Okay, never mind. Move on.
Choboni.
I lost it.
Can I take one of the skulls and just like carry it with me? I'll keep it in my ribcage so it doesn't fall out, and that'll be Alabaster's little house.
Of course.
Sure.
Alright.
Marrow
He
gets a
deserves his own
+1
place.
to their next roll. Thank you very much, Tapir.
So
Amazing.
Thank you.
just to be clear, you're having like a lot of people go missing, and you have an unexplained barrel of skulls, and
Yes, what's your point? Do you know something about it?
no,
'Cause
I'm just describing two totally unrelated phenomena.
Well, yes,
and
you
I
did.
just want to be sure I have all the facts right.
Well, yes, it's just kind of unimportant. You need to go get the relic. It has nothing to do with the people missing or the vast amount of bones we've been amassing or any of the blood that seeps through the restricted section or anything like that.
Wait. How many bones?
Oh man, there's blood in the restricted section. Oh, we gotta
Oh.
get in there.
That's gonna be so delicious.
Yeah.
What
oh.
is wrong with
blood
you
drinking.
people?
It's
What
what
do you
we
mean?
drink.
Blood is delicious, guy.
It's what we drink.
I'm gonna
Okay.
do dwarf. I don't know.
Anyway, best of luck. It's in one of the surrounding regions, alright? Good luck. And he kind of goes back to doing his work.
Okay, thanks.
What's a region?
I grab a book.
Alright, no one notices you grab that book.
Can I
Alright.
sneak like a handful of teeth from somewhere?
There's no jar of teeth, unfortunately.
Why would there be teeth?
Can we pickpocket?
They have an unexplained
You
amount
can
of-
try, but you're very
That's
visible.
a good point. There is an unexplained amount of bones.
There is, yeah.
There might be some teeth around.
No teeth
Damn.
around this time.
Nah,
Okay, are we ready?
I've been wronged.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Mhm.
Are we moving to the next region that chat has decided on, or is there anywhere else in town you want a quick visit?
Can we quick
I wanted
visit-
to go just like straight up buy a bag so I
Yeah,
can
let's,
keep
like-
all my books in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's quick visit the market.
Yeah. You can very, very quickly visit the merchant. So as you do, you head to the merchant town, and this is definitely one of my favorite parts of this. Welcome to the item shop. Another redemption.
pretty clearly skeleton. Like, we've made no effort to hide that.
What? He says, I thought those were costumes.
No.
How would they be costumes?
Well, I just figured you were all like orcs or something in there.
There are.
Gribbles, you took my head off.
We're see-through.
So Grippus doesn't know.
free to do so and reach out. Tell me what you thought, honestly. And I think that is it. So from Grubbles and the rest of the party, have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.